I promise it's gone. All right, this is Crash Canon. I am Chris. Happy to see you all here with the Triple H on my right here. The other Triple H.
Dude, I was never a wrestling fan, but as soon as you said Triple H, like whatever, like you mentioned it, I knew exactly who you were talking about. So you don't have to be a wrestling fan, and you know who Triple H is.
Well, incidentally, your podcast is not infringing on his trademark, but definitely a better trademark than his with the Holy Happy Hour. I'd rather be holy and happy than whatever the real Triple H is.
Yeah, I would gladly change it if all of a sudden, or like the logo or whatever, if like I got some kind of correspondence from his team that was like, you have to change that. I would like. And what I would do is I'd frame that letter, like put it down here or something. When people ask, what is that? It's like, well, I had to change my logo because Triple H, the wrestler, told me I had to.
He threatened he was going to come and make it happen personally.
Yeah. And nowadays, I believe that could happen. He could find it somehow. I don't know how, but yeah.
Well, good luck with that.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you tell everybody what really is going on with your podcast, not about the old WWE, WWF wrestler Triple H?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Triple H, obviously, you can kind of see it here too. Is the Holy Happy Hour, and it's kind of like I was interviewing a girl one time, and she was like, you're kind of like this, like have a drink, like a happy hour, but then also talking about the faith and the holy hour. I love it. It almost actually kind of seems like a Catholic version of the late night show, or like a Catholic version of like a nightcap or something. And so that's kind of what we've rolled with ever since then. We had this great conversation. And so it's kind of designed, actually kind of similar to what we were talking about before we started the stream, was just designed to be something at night that you can crack open a beer and just talk about the faith. It's usually super laid back. We're not going to usually get too deep into like the catechism or theology, unless it's a guest that I'm bringing on that's an expert in that. But it's just a lot of fun. And I love to specifically highlight people's stories and their conversion stories. And Paul was such a great example of that, of after his conversion, he spent time with the disciples, but then he went back and he just shared his testimony, his encounter with Jesus, and it just worked. It worked well. And so I think he just did a really good job of showing us what we should do. And so I love to highlight people's stories, but then also I became a missionary recently for the Catholic Church and work at a parish here and in my diocese. And so I love to kind of take what I'm praying about and what I'm kind of learning about, whatever, and then bring it to the channel, which is usually me kind of spieling and like saying like, I had this thought. Like I said, it's not necessarily catechizing, but it's like I had this thought in prayer today and I was thinking about this passage, and then I invite people to comment and kind of join in on the conversation. So yeah, it's a little bit of everything, and we've kind of changed the format recently, and we took a month and a half off, but we're back now and posting consistently. But it comes out every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, so it truly is the late night show.
Yeah, and he's completely not at the same scheduled times as me. So if you're not watching me, he's probably on. Go check him out.
There we go. I always like mess up the time differences. That's why I'd like confirmed like 5 times. It's like I don't know. Like ever since I've become a missionary, and there are people everywhere, and I always have to confirm. And luckily, when they send invites, it changes it for me in my calendar because I'm like, I don't know what time we're meeting, honestly.
Well, what cracked me up was you were like, if it's 8:30 your time, that's 9:30 my time, right? And I was like, oh yeah, it's an hour difference. And then I realized like an hour later, I was like, no, it's the other way.
The other way, yeah.
You're behind me.
Yeah, well, and I should have thought about it too, because I'm a huge basketball fan, and I'm here in Oklahoma. So my NBA champions, Oklahoma City Thunder, when they would play Golden State, it would start at like 9:30 p.m. on the West Coast, and so I knew like, 9:30 p.m. our time, but I knew like West Coast,
like 7:30.
Yeah, those people are just showing up to the arena at 7:30 p.m. It's like a normal start time.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, it's funny because I had to get used to these times using military time, because in my day job we use military time for everything. Not because I'm not in the military. That's just what the default way they talk at work is, because there's a lot of ex-military where I work. And so for me, it's easier to kind of figure out what time is what, just because I think military time is easier to convert. You're not looking at like PMs and AMs. You're just on that 24-hour clock, you know?
Yeah, I bet it is. So That's something my watch always switches to automatically, and I always look down and it's 14 o'clock, and I'm just like, "What? Wait, hold on a second." But I'm sure it's better. I feel like we change things all the time, and it's kind of like I'm sure Celsius is probably easier to use than Fahrenheit, and
Well, I've
I don't
been
know.
teaching. No, Celsius is not easier
It's
because
not easier.
no, the standard deviation, not standard deviation. That's the wrong way to say it. The standard temperatures that you will see in a given year fall between 0 and 100 Fahrenheit. Sometimes they go above,
Oh,
sometimes they go
okay, then
below.
that is easier.
But Celsius, there's a lot of times where you're below 0 in Celsius because that's where the freezing point is.
Yeah, yeah,
I read online the other day that Fahrenheit is much easier to gauge what you're doing. Plus,
yeah, yeah.
because it's more precise, the degrees are smaller than Celsius is. Like the range of each degree is smaller. You
That
can be
makes
more precise with temperature.
Gotcha. That makes sense. What is it that America uses that's worse? Is like the weight of things? It wouldn't be
No,
pounds,
it's
right?
measurements. It's
Measurements.
inches.
Yeah, yeah. Inches, centimeters, meters, or meters. I think what they use
Yeah.
is I don't know.
The
But
metric system is far more precise for measurements. That's for sure. Other
yeah,
than Celsius, which that one's just dumb. No,
yeah,
I mean it's not that dumb, but
yeah.
uh,
That's some you can get my wife on like a rant, like talking about like what America does that other countries don't, especially when you're talking about language, like and how the English language is and versus like Spanish or Italian or something like that. Like she just like hates it. The more she learns of like the English language, like the I before E except after C. And it's like, why do we learn that in school? It's like hardly ever true. It's like true half the time. It's like this is all
did
these things. She'll go
Did she
off on a
learn
rant.
language later in life, or
Yeah.
she just okay? All right, she
Yeah.
learned English later.
Yeah, she learned sign language growing up, but other than that, yeah, like getting into I don't think she ever took Spanish. I want to say she got into the Duolingo app in college, and that's where she started realizing like a lot of this stuff's easier. I know when you get to Spanish, like you start conjugating things, and it's like, okay, hold on, this is getting a little confusing, but I don't know. Sometimes it's not as confusing as like how we have like three words that sound the exact same, like there, but they're like it's the exact same, but it's that means so many different things. It's like that guy who has a social media page. He just posts those little shorts where it's like the word is BOMB. What does that spell? He's like bomb. Good. Now if I
Yeah,
erase the B and I put a T, now what is it? Tom. No,
I've seen that
it's
one.
tomb. And I just like
Right.
what?
Then he's like, "What if I put a C?" And he's like,
Yeah.
"Com." No, it's comb.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's so funny because it's so accurate. It's so true.
There was a even funnier one about language, and it was basically that the English language is going to become the standard across the entire EU. And the guy says they're going to standardize it with the Germans and the da-da-da. But progressively, as he adds rules to the English language, as he's explaining what the EU is going to do, and this is all a joke, it's a parody.
Yeah.
It sounds more and more like angry German the more rules he adds to the English language, to the point where at
Oh,
the
that's
end
funny.
he just sounds like he's speaking German.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he's
That
like,
is
and
so
Germany's approved all these changes. Of course they have.
yeah. Yeah, they love it.
Anyway, not to get too caught up on language, but I do love the
Yeah.
Latin language. It's very
Yeah.
precise as far as like
Yeah.
languages go.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a beautiful thing, and I didn't even realize. We have a little bit of Latin stuff you'll see in like our diocese, like within the mass and stuff like that. But when we went to our training to be missionaries, we were there for a month and a half, and so much of it they did in Latin, and it was like at first hard to kind of pick up on, but then when you can
Mm.
actually get in front of you and it makes a lot of sense, then you just start realizing how beautiful it is. Even if you don't know what they're saying, it's just a beautiful language, and it was super cool. I loved the masses there because they did so much of it in Latin.
And where did you do your mission work at?
So we went up to new staff training. It was actually a crazy story. I mean, I got hired, and then 3 weeks later had to be at new staff training for a month and a half. And luckily, the company I'm with, they were like, "Bring your wife, bring your two kids. Like, we'd love to have them here. There's gonna be plenty for the kids to do." But we're in Tulsa, and we had to go to Nebraska, so
Okay.
Lincoln, Nebraska, not too far. It was a nice little easy 6 hour drive.
Yeah,
But
not
we
too
stayed
bad.
on campus. So with my wife and a 5 year old and a 3 year old, we were in a dorm. No, a nicer dorm. I had a living room and a kitchen, and then it actually had 4 bedrooms that they gave to the entire family. So we had a little bit of space, but compared to like our house, it was a small, tiny space. The kids loved it. By the end of it, we couldn't get them to leave. But yeah, we're up there in Lincoln, Nebraska, on campus.
Yeah, a lot of times I feel like the dorm, like really any college living like that, is actually geared for like entertainment and having fun and doing things like
Yeah.
that, which is kind of crazy
Yeah.
because I don't feel like that's how dorms always were. But nowadays,
No.
because the amount
Yeah.
of money people are spending, they have so many amenities at the
Yeah.
dorms to the point where
Yeah.
like you don't really have to leave campus at all.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, where we were at, you literally there's sliding back door, and when you walked out there, you were in this courtyard. I had a square sidewalk that went around, which for the kids was awesome. We got these little scooters, and they just like rode around all day. But there were 4 other rooms that came out to that courtyard as well. So it's just like a picnic table out there, and I was like, I can't imagine like these people that all live here probably just hang out here all day, and it's just nice big courtyard.
Yeah, it definitely would convince people not to live off campus when they have nice things
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Now, the second question is like, have you always been in missionary work?
No, so I became Catholic 6 years ago. So
Okay.
I've kind of had a pretty like I became Catholic 2019, COVID hit, so everything shut down. And then I got to kind of really get involved in 2021. And so I got involved at the parish I'm at and just Bible study, young adult stuff like that. But it wasn't until we had missionaries come to our parish that I started actually walking with them. And I owned my own business at the time. It's like a little protein shake shop. I used to be a personal trainer back in the day, so I had this little protein
Like
shake shop
the
that I got to.
Herbalife style stuff
Yeah,
or something
yep,
else?
yeah, it was Herbalife. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Yeah, I have a lot
but
of
yeah, yeah,
experience with those guys.
nice, yeah, yeah. So yeah, so we opened up one here in Tulsa, and it was doing really well. Came with a lot of anxiety and stress, but I had a priest reach out and say, "Hey, I want to throw it like an idea," and I just thought maybe he was saying like, "Hey, the Newman Center here, and in your business, we can do a partnership. Maybe you can come over here and set up, and maybe we can help drive business over there." And so I was down, and he came over to the nutrition club and was like, "My development director left," and I was talking to another priest who said, you just need to find someone Catholic, like an entrepreneur mind and like a good salesperson. Those three things. Oh, that's all you need to make a good development director. Someone that can go fundraise for a university parish. And so he's like, I just immediately thought of you, and I don't even know if that's an option, but I wanted to throw it out there. And so I prayed about it for a couple weeks and ended up applying and got that job. And so I had my business as well, but I did the job full time too. And that was my first like on mission job, like raising money. Didn't always feel like mission, but someone's got to get out there and be raising money so that the priests and the missionaries and the campus leadership can continue to do what they're doing. And I did that for 2.5 years. And then that leads us to today where I just started. May 1st was I got my hire date, and the new staff training was May 21st. So,
and if I remember correctly, because I've listened to a couple of the interviews you've done previously.
Yeah.
Didn't you have a moment in your previous business experience where you felt like maybe you were being tempted by dark entities to do something you didn't really feel good about?
That's one of the freakiest things I've ever had experienced in my life, which was I sold my business because of just stress and anxiety. I can like humbly say now that I am not an entrepreneur person. I want to own my own business one day, but I would need like at least one, maybe 2 other partners that can say, Josh, it's okay. Like chill. Because I would just freak out like, man, what the heck? And so I'm at the nutrition club, and we typically do $800 days, $1,000 days. So by the end of the month, it'd be anywhere from $24,000 to $30,000, depending on how long the month was.
You talking gross or net?
This would be in gross. So
okay,
yeah. But we would, I'd be sitting there, and it would be a single day, and we'd be like on pace to do $300. I was like, what is happening? Where is everybody? None of my regulars came today or anything, and I would just start kind of panicking, like, what are we going to do if I can't place an order or whatever? But then usually the next day we'd have a huge day because all those people that missed, they decide to come the next day. I couldn't kind of back up and look at the week, look at the bigger picture. And my older brother was telling me all the time, try to back up, look at the bigger picture. Because by the end of the week, we were typically hitting a record-setting week every single week, if not at least doing the same. But one day I was there, and it was just this really bad day. And again, I was like, man, I can't. I don't know what to do here. Like, what's happening? And I felt like the most clear voice in my head say, give it over to me and I'll make it more successful than your wildest dreams. And I feel like that's something like God could say to you, like offer your business to me, like give it to me and like trust me, and I can make it successful for you. But my heart dropped, and I turned around real fast because it sounded like a voice in my ear. And I turned around real fast, and I got out behind the bar and like went out to the front, and I called my wife because I was just like, like this just happened. And it scared the crap out of me. I'm honestly like here by myself, kind of freaked out. And she was like, well, we can walk down there in a little bit. And so she ended up coming down and hanging out. But I was like, I'm not an exorcist or anything, or I'm not like a master and all this stuff, but that truly felt demonic, because I've had other times where like I felt like God was like, go to confession, tell your best friend and tell your wife like these sins you're struggling with, so you can like get better. And I've had these like direct like do this, and it's like, okay, like I trust y'all do it. But that voice, it was kind of like, oh, and like my stomach dropped, my heart dropped. I was like, that was the scariest thing I've ever experienced. Like a true like a movie, like whoa, when like you turn real fast and nothing's there. Like you hear the noise and you turn and nothing's there. And you're like, that freaked me out. Yeah, it was scary.
I've had a lot of weird experiences like that, but I just want to highlight Mr. Lepanto says this is the collab I've been waiting for. So
nice.
There you go. We finally made it happen for you.
Oh yeah.
But speaking of that, I mean, that is literally like almost scripturally what the temptation the devil has for Jesus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I have actually a funny story to kind of lighten the mood. Yeah. There was a calendar where clearly they had like their lowest paid intern working on it, because it was supposed to be like daily Bible inspiration quotes. Mm-hmm. And you turned to one of the days and it was literally the, you know, if you bow your knee to me, I'll give you all of your wildest, you know, like that essentially. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I was like, if you know the context of who's saying this, you would never put that in a Bible calendar for inspiration daily. I'm like, oh, that's man.
Awesome.
So
yeah, that's someone trying to make some money off of like some Christian like thing. Like someone will buy this, they'll love this. This is easy money. We're gonna make some money. They're just not like actually faithful, and they're like, "This is the greatest quote ever. This is awesome." Yeah, yeah.
I've had a few moments though where it's like, you know, there's some business opportunity presented me from a real person, but clearly a very secular thought process is going into it, and I'm like, okay, this is not going to be good for my salvation.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've had some stuff like that was just, you could tell, like as soon as I accepted the job to be a missionary, I had like 2 job offers like that within the next couple weeks. At the gym I used to work at, like I went there and when my wife started going there, so you can drop the kids off at childcare, and they twice like asked me once if I want to be a personal trainer again. Like they could like up the pay, like they're paying better now and they really need a good person to come in and lead. And then the next time they stopped me, it's like, we really want you to consider this. Like they were pushing, and I was like, no one's ever sought after me for a job this bad. Like I feel like there's a little bit of like trying to pull me away from mission work here. And so I was like, no, like I'm good. I'm actually leaving in a week, so I'll be gone for a while. So
actually, one of the temptations I had was to lie in a contract position. So I talked about it already, so it's safe to talk about it again. My friends and I put together this Bigfoot hoax years ago, and it did really well. But we got a message from Sci-Fi, like, we want to buy the rights to use this video in our Bigfoot series, and all you have to tell us is that it's not a hoax. And I was like, well,
yeah, man,
like I'd love to sell this to you. I'd love to see it put on TV, but I can't lie. Like that's just goes against every fiber of my being, you know. Yeah. And that was even when I was in a low point where I wasn't really practicing my faith at the time, and I still just couldn't do it.
Yeah. That's awesome. I feel like those are the times where like God's truly there, or like Mary's there, someone's there to actually like kind of hold you up. Like it's like you're gonna, like, you could fall, you're really weak. It's like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna hold you up. I'm a big like superhero guy, and it's like I feel like the second like the hero's like almost defeated, and they're like, but they're like trying to like Captain America Infinity War. Not spoilers alert if you haven't seen it, you should have seen it a long time ago. But when he stands up and he's just like, he tightens his shield, and you could tell he's like, I'm gonna go out swinging. But that's exactly when like people come. Sometimes I feel like God and Mary are just like, okay, we're gonna hold you up here because we're not gonna let you fall to that. So
anytime I'm late, I'm just like, God, you must have a reason for this.
Yeah.
So you did the nutrition thing. You did kind of like a foray into more physical health type stuff, but then you found the missionary work, and that's really your calling, you feel?
Yeah, absolutely. I even actually they asked like the best question I've ever been asked in an interview, which was like, man, you were a personal trainer and you did really well, but then you moved on. You worked at this Orange Theory Fitness, and you were a studio manager, really, really well. But then you stepped down, and then you went to Gold's Gym, and you were doing pretty well there. But then you moved on, and it's like you constantly have all the success, then you move on, move on. And it's a lot of that was before I was Catholic and before I was really into my faith, and so my actually number one charism, I know like people know about charisms, like the
Yeah.
gifts given to you at baptism, and they mature with you, especially as your faith matures. And my number one, which we have this girl at our parish that runs this Many Parts Ministries, which is kind of really growing right now. And she actually does like, she has this like quiz you take, and it kind of gives you like the possible top, like it puts all the charisms in the list. But anyway, long story short, my number one is discernment. And so I told them, I think that what it was is that discernment was still there. And so I think I was thinking, I know I'm not
Mm,
supposed to do this, but then I would make a lateral movement. So I'm not supposed to do this fitness job, so I'm going to move to this one. And it's like, no. He's like, I'm trying to call you forward. And I just kept stepping sideways. I was like, maybe
yeah.
here. And it's like, no, that doesn't work either. Maybe here. And it wasn't until like I opened my own business and I kind of took maybe a baby step forward, but still kind of lateral movement. But then when I took that job at St. Philip Neri, it was only 6 months after that I was like, Lindsay, when you sell the business, I just like, I want to sell it. And I think I want to focus on serving the church. And then the discernment into joining as a missionary was a really different one. Cause when they asked me that question, I talked to my wife afterwards and I was like, I actually truly want to take this as like a kind of like how a priest would discern. Like, I really want to
Mhm.
take this as like we are going to commit to this company for the rest of our lives. Like commit to being missionaries, or in a different role within this company. But we're going to commit to just serving and evangelizing, like for our career. Like this is our life. And on those times where it's a low point, just like in marriage, like our vocation in marriage, it's like
Right,
when if
right.
there's a low point, it's like we don't just get up and leave and like, okay, well, I'm gonna go find someone else. It's like, no, we're still going to stay committed strong no matter what. I want to treat this job like that too. So definitely was not, it may have always been my calling. I definitely wasn't mature enough or wasn't into my faith enough or had a relationship good enough with God to understand he was calling me there. Which is kind of like, I like seeing those late vocation, like when people discern their vocation late and become a priest at like 50. I was actually just watching a
I
video
know
on
a
that
few
tonight.
priests. I know a few priests that have done that. It was kind of
Yeah.
neat. He's like, one of them was like, I was just mowing grass one day, and I was like, you know what? I need to go to seminary. I'm like, how do you even
Yeah.
go from
It's so
like
wild.
what the?
And when I look back on my whole story, I'm like, I can actually kind of see where God was like, well, I wanted you at this job because it taught you this skill. And at this job, it taught you this skill. When you owned your own business, taught you this skill and all this stuff. Even back to, I mean, my degree, like this really shows you how all over the place I am. My degree from college is music performance. So I'm a trumpet player. So I was a music
That's pretty
performance
cool
major.
though.
And then I got off. So like, I'm like literally all over the place. But performing in front of, I mean, we marched a drum corps, which is like kind of like a professional marching band, and we toured the US and got to perform like the Indianapolis Colts Stadium in front of like 30,000 people. And so being able to perform in front of people, I think has actually led me to be able to like talk in front of people, or like my just like getting in front of people and presenting myself, which is what we do through the Holy Happy Hour, but also just like at the parish. Like there's certain things where it's like, I actually see a skill that I learned in this job or in this career or in this business that I'm actually using now as a missionary, which is cool. So I feel like it didn't matter that I was maybe making lateral movements. God was like, okay, if you're going to go that direction, then I'm going to actually develop this skill for you that you're going to use eventually when you get to this point.
It's really funny that you say that. I learned live streaming during COVID.
Oh,
That was
nice.
what
Yeah.
drove me to start doing more live streaming, was
Yeah.
because the church needed somebody to figure it out, and so I went and figured it out. And
Nice.
so it's like I can see that, like you're talking about these skills that you learn along the way, and it's like, okay,
Yeah.
well, the church needs somebody to figure out how to live stream so that they can continue to bring mass to people, at least digitally at a minimum. And I was
Yeah.
like, well, I'm sure I can figure it out, and I did.
Hmm. Yeah.
But
That's awesome.
it's funny how God like will put you in these places, because before that I had been helping record a podcast with one of the youth ministers there. I really wasn't doing anything. I was just there helping
Hmm.
him do it because he had no idea what he was doing. um that's how I got involved with more of the back end of doing church activities, and I
Hmm.
still help out quite a few of the churches in the area with their
Hmm.
digital and like background website administration type stuff. But
Hmm. Nice. That's
it's just
awesome.
like skills I didn't have, and they're like, well,
Yeah.
you can figure it out, right? And I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, and I have people all the time like, "Hey, you're so good at like all the videos and stuff like that. Can you help us at the parish with this?" I'm like, "I'm really not that good at it. I just like it's taken me however long. I've been like a year and 3 months or whatever, like since I've been doing this, and my videos from very beginning, I didn't even edit any of them. I literally just Like, are you ready? And I'd hit record and like, hey, what's up, guys? Welcome, or whatever. And if I messed up, I'm like, oh, sorry. Let me actually, this is what I meant. And then I would just say it. I'm like, it's real, whatever. And I would just post them. And now I'm able to like do different things and kind of cut things together and everything. But yeah, it's just kind of things you learn along the way.
Yeah, I keep thinking like if I did clips from these podcasts, it'd probably do better. But then I remember that means if I start doing clips, the expectation is that I keep doing clips.
Yeah.
And I'm terrible at continuing to do clips and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to start that until I have enough like of a reason to do it.
Yeah.
So
I use a platform called Riverside, and I do like the whole generate clips for me. And then I take them raw, and I have this like app called Captions, which will like use AI to kind of like put
caption
some
it as best they
cool
can.
things and stuff on them. And I'm just like, that's good enough for me. Like it looks good. It's great.
Hey, No Name, how you doing?
No Name.
Yeah, I've never seen that before. Maybe it's an emoji name or something. I'm tempted to check on this side. Nope, it's literally No Name.
No Name. Nice.
Interesting.
That's great. That's funny that
Love it.
like that's the original. Like no one else could get No Name. There's like No Name 1 and No Name 2 probably out there.
Yeah, it doesn't say what their activity. Anyway, whatever. Who cares? Yeah. But I don't care. It's not that I don't care about No Name, whoever they are. I'm just saying, like, who cares what the origin is? It's all good.
Yeah. Then that name to me just says that like he had to put a name. He didn't want to put his real name. And it's just like, I'm just gonna put No Name. It's like because I'm just here to watch. So
yep, fair enough. All right. So we've kind of led into this with talking about your journey since you've been Catholic, but when did you become Catholic? You said 2018 to 2020 time frame?
2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what led you to the Catholic Church? Were you something else before?
Yeah. So I grew up status quo Baptist is what I call it. We went to we were in like a really small little like school district here in Tulsa, and the only two churches were Baptist. Well, there were a few, but Baptist. There was one Pentecostal and then one non-denominational. And so almost every single family that went to church there was Baptist. And it was such a small town that if you missed, like people were very friendly and they would say, hey, we missed you on Sunday. Where were you guys? And my parents hated that. Like they hated that so much. So they would like force us to go. And the more we were forced to go, the more we were like, I hate this so much. Even though some of my best friends from high school actually went to that church. I still just hated going. I don't know why. I couldn't even tell you if you were to tell me like, we actually explained to everyone like the Baptist belief and everything, like their doctrine and stuff. I wouldn't be able to tell you. I have no idea. So I grew up that. But I did like luckily have someone at all points in my life keep me tethered at least to Christianity in general. My parents gave me the choice in my freshman year, like, do you want to continue going to church? And we obviously immediately said no, because you shouldn't give whatever age you are there, 16, 15-year-old to that choice. And so I said no. And then I started that school year and met some friends who were like, hey, we go to the non-denominational church. You should go with us. And so I was like, well, I mean, I'll go. Yeah, you're my cross-country team. I'll definitely go. So the non-denominational church was super entertaining, amazing music, great preacher. It was awesome.
As they all are.
Yeah. So it was awesome. And so it was great. And so I went there. And so that kept me at least tethered to Christianity. Didn't learn anything, but like it kept me tethered to Christianity. Maybe a few like, I don't know, like personal development and like Jesus died for you. Like, so like be happy. And then when I went to college, kind of same thing. I wasn't thinking anything about churches, but then my freshman roommate was like, dude, you want to go find a church with me? And we ended up at Life Church. And that's when I actually immediately, like I got plugged in. I went to Bible studies, ended up starting my own Bible study, applied and actually got the Life Church internship and was going to do that after college and possibly work at a Life Church. That's how much I loved it, how much I got into it. But again, it was only because the entertainment side, because I asked some other guys if they want to merge their Bible studies. They rejected it, said no. And I was just like, oh, okay, well, whatever. And I was kind of rubbed the wrong way. And I was, I don't know. And then I think I started asking questions or even God might've been planting questions in my head, because their big thing is they want to create fully devoted followers of Christ. They say it all the time. And I just always sat there thinking like, you guys literally never explain what that is. Like, I don't even know what that means. Like, what does that even mean? What does that mean?
You're like, you want to do this thing that you won't define.
Yeah. I was like, what does that mean? So so out of college, I stopped going. I was like, okay, like I didn't do the internship. My parents had got divorced my last year of college. So I moved back in with my mom. She was not doing well. And so, it was 11 years ago. So they're good now, actually pretty cordial too, which is great. But, yeah, so it's, but I fell away from church again. At that point, I did not have anyone keeping me tethered to Christianity. So I did fall away, got in the personal training world, which is great because those guys aren't trying to party or anything because we're not going to drink because we're trying to get lean and our body is a billboard for our business. And so
You
they
must
kept
know
me
some
tethered.
different personal trainers than I know.
Well, yeah. And then there's always the one. There's one or 1 to 3 in the group, depending on how big the gym is, that it's like, no, I'm here to meet a personal trainer. It's like, you're the person. Okay, never mind. They need on themselves, but they at least kept me tethered to like a healthy living, which was great. But then when I moved to that Orange Theory gig after I was a personal trainer, and I was stepping down, I was like, you know what? I want to hire a full sales staff because this owner is so great. I don't want to leave him hanging. I'll hire full sales staff, then I'll step down. Literally the last person I hired, or maybe second to last, one of the two, they were hired about the same time. They started the same day, is my wife now. So I hired her,
nice.
and then we started working together, and she was Catholic. So long story short, she was Catholic, and she invited me to mass, and I was a trumpet player back in the day. So in high school and college, I'd played masses Easter and Christmas, and I thought it was the weirdest thing. I was like, I don't understand any of this because no one ever obviously explained it to me. No, I was a music major, so I got to explain in music history 1. You start where music started, which was the Catholic Church, and so you did. I actually learned the order of the mass, but it was all from a music standpoint. So when she invited me to mass, I went with her because I really liked her, and she would say, so when he holds it up and says like when we say, Lord, I'm not worthy that you should enter under my roof, it's like this person says that in the Bible, like the centurion says that in the Bible. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like I didn't know that. And then I would say, hey, did you know in the chants, usually when it's going higher, it means they're singing about something good. If they sing about God, it'll go high. If they're singing about the enemy or something bad, it goes low. And she's like, oh, that's cool. And so we kind of connected off of that. But it wasn't until I met a guy who really stepped out of his comfort zone and kind of tricked me into coming to RCIA by just saying like, hey, we have food and drinks, and yeah, if you want to come and hang out, like if you ever had any question, yeah, if you ever had any questions, this would be great. This would be a great place to go. And so I was like, all right, I'll go. And Lindsay was working, and I went that first day. He was like, it was a class, and I was like, what the heck did I walk into? But they walked through the mass from beginning to end. This brilliant teacher. And it was just like, this is where everything's at biblically, and this is why we do it. And I was just like, that makes a lot of sense. Like, why wouldn't I? I mean, I don't have any reason to not believe it. So, and I never had any objections to the Catholic Church. I didn't know anything about it. So I went in with an open mind, a blank slate, which was a good thing, probably.
Probably.
But then he stopped me after the first class and said, so you and Lindsay, are you guys pretty serious? And I said, yeah, well, I think so. It's still a little early, but I think we're pretty serious. He's like, okay, great. Don't tell her you're coming. And I was like, why is that? He goes, and he said that thing that I respect the most that he's ever told me ever. He's still in my diocese and everything. He said, I would rather you not become Catholic than only become Catholic for her. And I was like, oh, wow. And I just really respected that coming from Life Church, where it's like, invite your friends, hand out the cards, put the sign in get everybody. I for some reason really respected that. And he said, give it 3 weeks, and then I want to let's catch up again. And so we did 3 more weeks, so a full month of OCIA. And I was like, this all makes so much sense. And we're kind of coming up on some of the rights. And he's like, we're kind of at this point where you either need to decide or not. And I don't want to rush you. But I was like, no, I don't have any reason not to go forward with it. So he's like, okay, cool. Tell Lindsay. And I told Lindsay, and I'm like, hey, I actually decided I want to become Catholic. I've been going to OCIA. And I thought she was going to be excited. And she just goes, why? I was like, what? Like, well, I don't have to explain myself to you. But yeah, so I told her I'd been going, and she was super excited. So she actually ended up being my sponsor.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, but you answered the question. Like, did you and your wife convert together? Obviously not. She was already Catholic.
She was 3 years before me. So she converted converted in college. Her priest in college said, Lindsay's like the only person that's ever self-evangelized herself. Like, she would stop her friends and be like, is that a rosary? Are you Catholic? Tell me everything you know. And then run into another guy holding the Bible. Are you Christian? Like, where do you go to church? Oh, you go to the Catholic Church? Tell me everything you know. And everyone's just like, what in the heck? Can I go to mass with you?
What was she before?
She didn't grow up in a faith at all. And then she got invited to what was it? I want to say it was a Presbyterian church that she got invited to, but she wasn't super plugged in. She was kind of the church hopper. Like, she would just go wherever her friends went. So she kind of loved it all for a long time. But then when she heard about Catholicism, she just went into research mode. And then she herself thought to herself, with no one else, no priest, no catechist, no anything. She just thought to herself, like, this seems like it's actually right. And so she went to the priest and was like, I want to know like more about this. And so this priest, who's actually in our diocese now, his parish is like 2 blocks that way. It's awesome.
That is
He just
awesome.
met with her once a week, and she ended up becoming Catholic, and then she had one more year of college and then graduated. No.
Yeah, it seems like all of my favorite priests, once I get to know them, they get flung out of town somewhere else.
Yeah, I know.
It's kind of bizarre.
The bishop's watching or something. It's like, we
Yeah.
can't let those priests get like too much. Like the guy who hired me at the Newman Center here, he hired me. Then 2 months later was like, hey guys, I'm going to the Air Force. I'm like, what the heck? Like, all right. But
isn't that how it goes? Like God puts these people in your life for the shortest period of time, and they leave like the most lasting impact on you.
yeah, it's wild. And I'm just like dreading the day, but like my team director that's like in our, he's my team director as a missionary. He's another missionary at our parish. He's a regional director as well, and I'm waiting for that day that they're like, hey, we're moving you to this region, and like he's moving away. I'm just gonna be like, oh shoot, like what do I do here? Oh.
So at what point after you became Catholic did you start your YouTube channel?
I started like a year ago, so it'd been 2014, and I did like 2 or 3 videos that were super short, and then I took like a month off, and then officially started. I was really like trying to figure it out. So I would say it would had to been, I think it was like or actually I know, because we just passed the 1 year. It was April of, like, not this past April, but the April before. So April of 2024.
So you're telling me you put out, according to your YouTube channel anyways, 630 videos in 365-ish days?
Well, in that,
or does that include
I always
shorts?
see that when I see other people, it's mostly shorts.
Okay, all right.
Because,
I was gonna say, wow.
But, I'll check people's channels too, where
ethic.
it's like when I see someone who's got like 10,000 subscribers and they've done 100 videos, I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I'm like working way too hard on this. No, yeah, 630, but if I wish it would show the breakdown, but yeah, you can like scroll shorts for days. If there for a while, I was trying to figure out like how algorithms work and stuff, and I was like, maybe if I post shorts, I've got plenty of them because I can generate them like through my software I use. Maybe I'll post 3 a day. I'd literally post 1 in the morning, 1 in the middle of the day, 1 at night, and then I'd have my episodes come out twice a week. So I mean, I was posting like 15 to 18 videos a week, and then found out that like when you do that, you can actually, your own videos can get lost in their own, like, because you're posting too much and they all get lost. So it's like one will do really well, and then the others will do terrible, and then it won't be for like another week. So I'm like, I don't.
There are certain times of day that you can kind of check the algorithm and see when people are watching. Like throughout the year, when I used to do my old podcast, I would watch the algorithm to see what time of day my videos were most likely to get watched. And I would just adjust my schedule to fit that.
Yeah. See, I need to do that for sure.
Because I was doing dailies for like I had an absolute ton of videos on my first channel. Like I'd be curious. Let me see how many, just to see, so you can feel.
Was that the one you're talking about, the gaming one or whatever?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I got into the YouTube while you looked that up. I got into the YouTube world because I one time maybe had a drink too much at a bar, and I did one of those randomizers where you put the NBA logo on your head and it randomizes and you do your starting 5. Yeah. And I woke up the next day and had like 80,000 likes and like 15,000 comments with 5,000 new followers, and like I was like, what in the world? And this on Instagram. I was like, what the heck? And I checked it, and it had 800,000 views. I was like, holy crap, is this thing gonna hit 1 million? And I literally refreshed it, and it went to 1 million. I was like, what in the world is happening? And I refreshed it again, it went 1.1, and I just kept refreshing it, like just literally sitting there like within like 5 seconds of each other, and it was just climbing, and that thing went to like 2.8 million. I was like, what in the world? And then I did another one, literally just randomizer, like, all right, I'm gonna put these people, and I found that like I would like get like the Oklahoma City Thunder, and I'd say Steve Adams, and I'd pick Steve Adams. He doesn't play for the Thunder anymore, but I pick him because I knew people would blow up the comments. He doesn't play for the Thunder, like, you idiot. And I was like, and I would comment back, I'm like, what are you talking about? Anyway, and then my son was born, but I was like literally getting millions of views on everything. But then my son was born, and I fell out of it, and then like I went back and did another one and got like 1,800 views. And I'm like, man, that was exhausting to get there, like, and then keep up with it. Like, if I'm gonna do content again, which I really want to, I had a lot of fun doing it. I want to make it something worth my while. So I'm gonna do Catholic content. So Yeah.
I do appreciate the comment, but I'm not going to read it. It's from Simeon. It says subscribe. So this guy, I'm going to say this guy can get super chats one day. And I appreciate that thought process. But I ain't doing this for the super chats. I'm doing it because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
all right. So
man.
my old channel,
Yeah.
there's no shorts. I never did any shorts on the channel, but it has
Okay.
830 videos
Jeez.
over the course of, when did we start this channel? Since 2019. So about 6 years we did 830 videos.
That's wild. Yeah.
And
That's
that
what it
one's
looks
at,
like. That's what it
yeah,
looks like I'm on pace for, but it's well, all the shorts.
yeah. And if I click the about me or whatever, we've got 575,000 views ish.
Okay. Yeah,
Nothing crazy.
That's about where I'm sitting at. It's like 506.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So you're on pace to do what we were doing essentially. Like I think our
Yeah.
most popular video, I think well, unless you include the 4 shorts I made, because I did make 4 shorts and one of them has a ton of views, but
Yeah.
the most popular like individual videos we ever did, like about 12,000 views.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Nothing crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Mr. Lepanto is like, you guys are ahead of me. I have 2 videos.
Wait, you have a second one? Oh no, I've seen them both. Never mind, I've seen them. There's the second one's like a follow up to the first one, if I remember.
Oh, I haven't seen the second one. The first one though cracked me up, and I was like, that is
It was
awesome.
good.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, my one short has 213,000 views.
Oh wow.
So
Yeah.
almost half of the views on the channel are the one short.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
anyway,
it's
that's my old channel.
Yeah, and it's been something for me. I'm like, I try to figure out, but at the same time, I'm just like, I just got to remember. Like, I try not to get caught up in the numbers, and I'm like, I try to get like really focused on like again, like doing what I want to do. And I love interviewing people and talking about subjects that I'm going to grow in my faith. It's like I'm having them on the show and talking about the subject because I don't know much about it. They do, and I'm going to learn about it. So come learn with me, and that's kind of what I like pitch it as. And there may be every now and then where I put used to do my solo videos came out on Tuesday nights. My interviews, the bigger videos came out on Thursdays. So it'd be like a 15-minute video on Tuesdays, then an hour and a half on Thursdays. And like I said, right before I became a missionary and had to take a month and a half off, like I was really hitting a stride, and I think I was about to take some big jumps. But I know if it's God's will, it'll get back there again. So
yeah, it'll happen anyways if it's God's will, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, shout out to Mr. Lepanto. His Doc of the Creators Conference coming soon. So 3 videos on his channel. That'll be 150% of his current content.
Yeah.
3 videos awesome. Instead of 2.
Yeah.
What would you say is your? I did. I was originally not part of it, and then actually in the very beginning, I asked Kyle like what was the qualifications, and he was like, "Oh, well, you have to have had a channel since this time of last year or something like that." I was like, "Okay, I don't qualify. Not going to worry about it." And then the conference is coming up soon, and they're like, "You should probably come." And I was like, "Well, okay, let's figure this out then." And I ended up at the conference, and that was fun. I enjoyed it. Have you gone to it before?
No, I haven't gone yet. So I tried to go last year. I was like gonna go, and then I was like, I think it was in LA or something. I can't remember. It was really far.
No, that was probably the Catholic Answers conference.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
This one's always in Steubenville.
Oh, okay. It's always in Steubenville. Okay. So yeah, so
probably still a good drive from Oklahoma though.
Yeah, Steubenville would. The Catholic Answers one though, I think I remember like I'm going to this, and I talked to Carlo Broussard, and Carlo Broussard's like, you need to go. So Carlo Broussard lives in my diocese, so he's like, me and him have become good friends, and I'm like, okay, I'll go. And then I looked up the tickets. I'm like, I will not go. Never mind. And it's like so expensive. I'm like, what in the world? Like, and then I've got to get out to LA, and like, no, this is not happening. So my plan would be to get to the not the Catholic Answer one. That'd be great, but like would be to get to the Kyle's, the Creators Conference. Yeah. Get to that.
Kyle's conference was awesome.
I've heard.
I can't say enough good things about it. Like it was a great experience. What's funny is like half the people that I've interviewed were there. So like to meet these people for the first time face to face, and got to meet several people's spouses. That was cool.
Yeah, that'd be the cool thing is meeting people, because I've had like the religious hippie. So I've had Amber on, Braden the catechumen. I had him on, and then he was like, I live 40 minutes north of you. I'm like, what in the world? So like I drove up there and we hung out at a church event he was having. And so, yeah, it was great. So I've met a bunch of people that are nearby, and interviewed a bunch of people, and have some others scheduled coming up. And I was like, man, if I go to Catholic Creators Conference, like I'll meet all of them in one place, which would be
Yeah, there
awesome.
you go.
So, and all those videos that are coming out of it are great. Like I just saw the Deutero comical with Amber Rose, and I
That
was
was
just
good.
like cracking up. His one with Trent Horn is hilarious too. It's like, so you're an apologist, right? He's like, yes, I'm a Catholic apologist. Like, what are you apologizing for? I'm just like, dude, like, what in the world?
He was trying to do like that behind two ferns or whatever the heck kind of thing
Yeah,
going on.
yeah.
It's
Zach
great.
Galifianakis. Yeah, I caught on to that real fast, and it's so funny. It's hilarious.
No, my favorite. This is bad, but my favorite joke he made in all of the behind the two ferns thing. This is not the Judo comical. This is Zach Galifianakis was when he's at the end of the Hillary Clinton interview and he goes, "How should I reach you? Email?"
Yeah. Oh,
And I was like dying. I was like, "Oh my God."
Have you ever seen the bloopers?
No, I haven't.
Okay, you like behind or in between two ferns bloopers, and it's kind of like when you watch The Office. The Office is funny, but The Office bloopers may be funnier than the show. The in between two ferns bloopers is hilarious because you get to see that all these people are in on it, and so they're just like interviewing what's the guy's name that played Paul Blart?
Kevin James.
Yeah.
Kevin
It's
James,
like,
right?
and he'll say stuff of like, how does it feel to ride on Adam Sandler's coattails for all your career? And then they both just start cracking up laughing, and they're just like, sorry, I couldn't keep a straight face. And it's cool to see like it's all a joke and everything. Because sometimes, like the Hillary Clinton one I mentioned, the email you're like, oh shoot, like I just got uncomfortable there. Like that was,
The funniest thing that guy has ever done, and I think that video has been mostly scrubbed from the internet because of a lot of reasons, but he did a weird, almost like farmer slash like traditional farm looking guy music video for a Kanye West song of all things.
Oh god.
It was Can't Tell Me Nothing, right? Is that the right song? I think that's the right song. I don't know. I'm terrible with titles of songs these days.
I don't know anything about Kanye, so
you'd
roll with it. And I'd be like, yeah,
hilarious because it's like this song about money and like just more city living and stuff. And he's on a tractor driving through fields doing farm work, and I'm like, what the heck is going on here? Because it makes no sense.
Yeah.
Anyway,
jeez. That is
don't listen to the song, but the video is funny. Because the song is definitely, there's definitely some inappropriate aspects of the song. So if you're trying to find some good spiritual stuff, that ain't it.
Yeah, that's not it. That's the opposite. I was back in the Deuterocomical guy, last thing on him, but it was so funny. I was in a Matt Frad live stream and he commented on something, and Matt Frad was like, okay, let me bring this guy up. And he brought up the thing just like you're doing the comments. And he goes, this is the worst name for a YouTube channel. I can't imagine how much of a nightmare it is for people to find it. But he goes, but at the same time, I love it. I'm like, that's so funny. That's the best. That actually describes the show. It's like, it's the worst show. It is so hilarious. So,
yeah, I have to say it was funny. I got there without my beanie on, right? Because I actually, the reason I wear this, and I hope this is the last time I explain this, but I'm gonna explain it real quick. The beanie prevents the light that I use from shining on my head and disappearing into my green screen behind me. Because if my head gets too shiny, the green screen, it thinks it's part of it. Oh, so it looks like I have like half a head.
Oh, that's hilarious.
The second reason is it throws off facial recognition software, and people don't recognize me either when I'm not wearing the beanie. So literally, I got there and I'm like, I know all these people, I know their faces, and they're like, who is this guy? Like, did you invite him? I don't know who he is. It's like,
that is funny. That's awesome. You like almost make that a video. It's like, how long can I walk around the creators conference without getting recognized? Let's see. And just start walking.
Probably doesn't help that I have a pretty tiny channel still. It's not, it's relatively, but anyway.
Yeah, no, I honestly couldn't even tell that it's a green screen. It's obviously like a very good looking background, but my ADHD mind has been thinking to myself, like, is that real stained glass? Like, where are you at a church? Like, where are you at? Like, it looks real. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, I put this together like in like a Photoshop-y type third-party program that was free. And
nice.
Anyway, and then I just threw my logo up on the wall. Well, one of my logos. I have a bunch of logos, but that's my favorite one because Crash Canon sounds like it should be a Canon.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, I fine tuned. My chroma key is fine tuned. I made my own green screen. I bought like this green sheet online, and then I color matched it on my PC software so that it
Oh
would be
wow.
like perfectly disappearing behind me.
Yeah, I was gonna say because most of the time when some people start moving, you kind of like see it kind of
You
mess
can see
up
a
and
little
stuff.
bit. You can see like a
Yeah,
little
you
bit
have
of
to look pretty
flicker.
close though. I'm not really seeing it. That's awesome. Yeah, my setup is like literally here, and if I reach to here, I'm touching my light right there, and if I reach even further, I'm touching this little huge shelf that well, I'm in a spare room that it just has a whole bunch of junk in it. I've got like things that are going to a consignment cell soon and a bassinet. We have a good baby coming along, and so we like that's put together, and like it's just this junk room, but like the corner looks nice.
You can start to tell that I have a green screen because you can see like I'm coming out of the screen here.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the biggest tell. But eventually my goal is to get a wider green screen where I
Yeah.
can use the whole camera.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Nice.
had this like game plan where I was going to turn I have a garage that's not attached to my house. I was going to turn
Mhm.
that into a studio, and then my yard equipment showed up, and that
Mm,
whole dream went kibosh.
yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what we've seen some. We come across like on Facebook Marketplace, so these like little sheds, and I'll show it to my wife, and she's like, "Oh, that would be great. We could turn the old shed in our backyard to a chicken coop, and then we can put everything in there." And I was like, "Oh, I was gonna turn it to
Make a
like a
studio.
podcast studio." She's like, "No, we're not doing that." It's like, okay, that's fine. No.
Yeah. It's funny, like on the back end, like how little space you actually need to do something that
Yeah.
looks professional.
Yeah.
Like behind my green screen, actually, I've got 2 chairs and a couple things, and I did both of my live in-person interviews that I've done in my basement,
Hmm.
literally like 10 feet behind me.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So, and I did it with 3 cell phone cameras and a set of mics.
Oh,
That's how
nice.
I got my angles. Just old cell
Nice.
phone cameras plugged into chargers, and then
Yeah.
I just ran a program where I just like this face, the full thing, this face. It's just
Yeah.
it's the amount of stuff you can do
Yeah.
with so little is a lot these days.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I've been looking at is like this setup right now. I actually have a episode coming out Thursday where I went and set up at an event with my diocese and I literally took everything. So like I have the whole setup and it's sitting there. Well, I say that except the lights, but I took the microphone and everything and had the whole setup and it was nice to be able to do that. But now I've got like people that saw me there and they're like, "Hey, we should just do our interview from my office. You should just come down. We have got a great bookshelf in the background or whatever." And I'm just like, oh gosh, like I don't know. Like the side by side works best for me right now because I don't quite understand. I could probably use this webcam, but then I like use my phone, I guess, like facing them and this one facing me. I don't know. I wouldn't want to mess with it. So it's like, let's just do it virtual.
Well, luckily for me, I've got 2 of the exact same phone because I broke one, but it didn't
Oh,
break all the
nice.
way. So the camera's still good. So the
Oh,
2 like
nice.
face shots are the same camera. So it's the exact
Yeah.
same quality. And
Mm,
then whatever my wide shot is doesn't really matter because it's a wide shot.
mm. Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
just grab whatever cell phone or webcam I want to use for that. But
Yeah.
funny enough, I actually have a portable and a permanent setup. So my portable setup is separate from
Mhm.
my permanent setup.
Oh,
So like
okay.
I never have to worry about care. Like I've offered to take my portable setup places because it works pretty well. Because
Yeah.
I just take all 3 cell phone cameras and then the
Mhm.
audio, and they're all separate pieces, and I put them together in
Oh, yeah.
studio.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't realize like how easy it was to pack everything up. Like it fit all in one backpack, and then I just held the arm of the thing and walked into the church, and like yeah, it's an easy setup. I do need to figure out portable though, because or figure out what how I'm going to do this. But I got the Chesterton and Pints of the Aquinas cigars, and I got like the all the instructions on like here's how to like to do the review video and stuff, and so they sent these to us, and so I was like, okay, we'll try them out, and so we got to try them out and do this review and stuff. But I'm like, well, I can't do that in here, so I don't know where I'm going to set this up. We got a local cigar shop, and I've thought about asking them. They don't open till 10. I was like, could I ever come record at like 8 a.m.? Would you let me come set up for an hour and then leave? But I don't know. We'll
I
figure it out.
gotta send a message to Rob. I gotta get on this advertiser list.
Oh yeah. What's the advertiser list?
I'm joking, like because they sent you the
Oh.
scars, the instructions.
Oh
I'm,
yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
joking.
Yeah, no, it was I literally messaged them when they said the thing and I was like, I'm not gonna get one, but I'm gonna message them. And they're like, yeah, here you go. Like, we'll send you something. And I was like, oh, okay. Like sounds good.
Now, have you met Frad or Rob?
No. Mm-mm. Wait,
Okay.
Rob, what's Rob's last name?
Well, I don't know if he wants that out online. I really
Oh,
don't know.
never
So
mind.
I
No,
don't want to
no,
throw
no,
that
no.
out
It's
there.
not the Rob I'm thinking of then. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
no,
yeah.
I haven't met him.
So the
So,
co-owner, I met him. He's super cool. One of
oh, cool.
the coolest guys in
Hmm.
Steubenville, and he can play piano. He can sing. He can. I mean, he's awesome.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
and he showed me because I didn't know what I was doing smoking cigars. He showed me everything. He's like, you got to do this and
Yeah.
then that and then do this. And I was like, oh
Mhm.
man.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Rob, if he watches this, Rob, you are one of the coolest guys I met. So
Yeah, that's yeah, and I will do the review video at some point, Rob. I promise. I didn't just get these free cigars for nothing. They're still sitting here. They probably should be in some humidor. I don't know. I'm one of those with cigars, whiskey, and coffee. I like nice stuff, but I also like the cheap stuff. So I'm like the opposite of a snob, and so like with my buddy who is going to do the review with me because I got two of them. So he's going to smoke one, I'm going to smoke one. We're going to kind of do a review, but then also like an episode with it. Um, he was
you know,
like, "You
cross cigars in the interview. No,
well, make sure they're in a humidor for this long before we record, or like they'll be terrible." And I'm like, "Dude, I don't even know what you're talking about." So I'm just gonna give them to you. You hold on to them until we're ready. And no, it's hilarious. But he explains to me about cigars all the time, and I guess it goes in one ear and out the other, or maybe I subconsciously don't care, so I just don't remember. And I'm just like, I don't know what you're talking about. So but yeah, no, I was in the same elevator as Matt Frad one time. It was at Seek, and I was like, "Oh,
okay.
I was like, what floor?" And he's like, 4, and I was like, "Okay," and I hit 4, and I was like, I should say something, I should get a picture, but he's been at Seek all day, like I'm gonna play it cool. And then he got off, and I was like, "Hey, have a good night." He's like, he, like just said thank you or whatever, and just like walked away. And I was like, "No, I should have just gotten a picture. Dang it!" Like that
You
was
definitely should have done that.
yeah, so I just played it cool. I literally didn't say a single word to him for the 30 seconds we were in the elevator. He got off, and I just said see ya, and that was it. And I was like, yep, that was whatever. So I'm sure he really was like exhausted. And so even though he'll never know that I actually did that, maybe he appreciated in the moment, like not knowing who I am. Maybe it was like, I'm glad that person, like I was wearing my Seek name tag, and so he knew I was at the conference. It's like, I'm so glad that person didn't just like stop me and want to talk to me forever. No, I appreciate him. We're gonna be best friends one day. Maybe that's what he was thinking. I don't know, but I don't want to put words. I don't want to put words in his head, but
You're like psychologically preparing him. We will be best friends. I'm gonna.
yeah.
What is it? Man, you're like the weird people. Like I'm gonna manifest this.
Dude, I was in a literally a donor meeting one time, and the guy was like, "Dude, are you manifesting it? Like, you got to manifest it." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he just
Like
explained it
what?
to me, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, like, that's okay." I'm just gonna I'm gonna wait until you say yes or no on the money, then we'll talk. So, yeah,
You're gonna wait till the check clears to tell him what the
yeah,
heck are
yeah.
you talking about?
Yeah, and then see how much it is to see if we really need it next year or not. Because after this conversation, I don't know if it's going to come. But yeah, that stuff, man. We had a friend move to New York, and she's like, "There's a whole bunch of new age stuff here." It's like we're always talking to people about like how manifesting's not like a thing, or at least it's not what you think it is. And yeah,
Right.
it's crazy. Just some crazy stuff.
Well, we got like 2 or 3 occult stores where I live, and I'm like, how did this even happen? Because like overnight, it was
Yeah,
like they all just popped up out of nowhere. They're all
yeah,
successful somehow. I'm like,
that's wild.
who is buying this?
I don't know. All people that listened when that voice said, "Give it to me, and I'll make it as successful." And I
Buy the
ran, I
crystals.
ran, and they were like, "Go for it!" And it's like,
But
I don't know about that. Yeah,
they're like, buy the tree, buy the crystals, whatever the
yeah.
heck. I don't know.
That's what. Who was it that just put out the? What's that guy's name? Oh gosh, Iron Inquisitor. That guy just
Oh
put
yeah.
out a video, and he's like talks to a whole bunch of occult people and stuff. And I'm like, dude, you're braver than me. I would not want to get out there and go talk to these people and stuff and be like, no, not happening.
I've actually met people that carry like Greek or Roman or what is it, Norse totems in their pockets, and I'm like,
Hmm.
why? Why are you doing this? I'm
That's
whipping out my
so.
rosary, my holy water, and I'm like, stay away, don't come
What?
near me.
Yeah. Well, what's unfortunate, like if you like really believe, I mean, like as like Catholics, we would like believe like they could actually be getting
Possessed,
worldly
yeah,
desires from it, or like some like maybe
yeah.
they really are like maybe there are people that are making a whole bunch of money and like because they've started doing this, or maybe they are having like successes in different ways or whatever. I don't know. Like it's wild. It's like stuff that like could be absolutely true. But yeah, it's that stuff freaks me out. So I'm like, nope. I used to love scary movies, then I became Catholic and realized all of it's real, and I don't want to do it anymore. So, yeah.
I did want to say shout out to Haley, who's like the mod on every channel I've ever seen on this internet.
Yeah.
Finally met her IRL at the creator
Nice.
conference. I almost said the cigar shop, but no, I met her at the creator conference. She was there, but
yeah, she's
I
our
met
sole
her at the creator
moderator.
conference. She's cool.
Yeah,
The
she's our
only
sole
one, wow.
moderator for my channel, and she asked me if she could be a mod, and I messaged her privately, and I was like, what is that? I don't even know what are you talking about. And she just kind of told me what it was. I'm like, okay, sure, yeah, that sounds good. I don't know you, but
you know what I did, and this is not good advice. If you're a new creator and you're listening to this, don't take my advice at all. But the first podcast I did, I made pretty much. You know what? Hold on, I gotta fix this. But the first podcast I did, I made like everybody who tuned into my first podcast a moderator. Like, don't do that. That's a bad idea, because you never know who's going to tune in. But it was Kyle Whittington was my guest, and I was like, well, all the people he's bringing with him are probably trustworthy people. But in general, don't do that. That's horrible advice.
People just get notifications. You become a moderator, and he's like, "What? Why?"
Pretty much. They're like, everybody in the chat had a wrench next to their name.
I don't even know like what power they possess, but like what they can do. I don't except for like delete stuff.
They can
like
ban people from your channel. They can ban people from your channel. That's the biggest power they have.
That's all you need right there. That's okay. Never mind.
Yeah, that's about as much as they get, but they do get that. If you make them higher, like there's a higher level now of moderator, where they can like see some of the stuff that's happening in the background. I wouldn't recommend making anybody that unless you're like huge. If you have a huge company or whatever, maybe you would want something like that. But if you don't, I would just leave it at regular moderators.
Yeah.
So
that'd be a tough one. Well, if I ever just start my views just start really going down, I'm just gonna blame Hallie then. So she must be banning people. So
yeah, definitely that was her.
I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, here we go. So I'm looking at the thing. It says that if you make somebody a moderator, hold on, I clicked the button. I made Mr. Lepanto. If you're listening, you're mod now.
Nice.
Here we go. It says if you want to make somebody a moderator, your options are managing moderator. So you can manage blocked words, change chat modes in live, also has capabilities of standard moderators. And then the standard moderator can review and remove chat messages and hide or put users in timeout. So the people that can ban are I think the managing, but the standard does not. I don't think the standard can ban.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I'm surprised Lepanto wasn't already a moderator though. He was at my first stream, I'm pretty sure, and I made like everybody in this stream was a moderator. So whatever.
Yeah. When and Hallie's reminded me right there. Yeah, like when I was doing some of my shorts and stuff, and we had tons of people just like in there saying stupid stuff, scam stuff, like all sorts of stuff, and it's like, what in the world's happening right now? So
I got made a mod on. I used to watch the Quartering quite a bit. I don't know if you know who that is.
The what is it?
The Court. I don't know. He's a big political channel. I used to watch him all the time. There was one time where he had none of his mods in the chat, and he had like 1 million subscribers, and porn bots showed up, and he had like 10,000, like go to xyz.com kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, I need a mod. I was like, I could do it, and I just banned everybody. Like everybody, like bam, boom, boom, boom. They were all gone, and the chat was cleaned after that. But it was like this. It can get insane. Like the bigger your channel gets, the more likely you're going to get that kind of a content.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to Haley. I say Haley, but I'm probably wrong. So Haley,
I think I had. I
called you at the conference.
Yeah, I think I asked her one time, and she said it was Hallie. And like she said, this is how you pronounce it. But I could also be wrong. I don't know.
I probably said it wrong. I said Haley at the conference. She never corrected me, so that's her fault.
Hey. She's probably gotten it her entire life. So that's probably why. I sure blame the woman.
Yeah. And then we got the Josh had a bunch of trolls because he was filming in short format on his phone. Yeah, I mean that does happen.
Yeah.
But
then I started trying to do live streaming, and I was like, you know what I need to do? If I want to live stream as well, I just need to start setting a day, like every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Like we're live streaming. And then people jump in, and I have like 5 or 6 people watches. Like, okay, like great. Like, hey, tell me where you're from, like whatever. And they like literally people like, I'm 12, like I'm 11. Like I'm like, okay, I don't want to.
You're like, never mind.
No, you guys are one of those catch a predator things. Is what you guys are. You're not gonna get me. And so but it was like, why are there 12 and 13-year-olds in here? Like what? Like how'd you guys find my
on a Wednesday?
Channel? Yeah, it was the strangest thing, and they really were. I mean, like I like would have like friendly Catholic conversations with them, and some of them were actually interested in the faith and stuff. And I was just like, how'd you guys find my channel? Like, what in the world? Every time I go live, it's like, boom, they're there. Boom, boom, boom. I'm here. I'm just like, oh my gosh, what are you guys doing?
We used to get some pretty dedicated, like very specific people that would show up to the gaming podcast. And I hope some of them are still finding content that's like appropriate, because our content, we try to keep as appropriate as we could manage with guests. And some of the guests were not so appropriate, but overall we tried. And so I hope they were able to find other content after we stopped putting ours out, because a lot of these younger guys, like there's not a lot of appropriate content on the internet that you can regularly find, and there's consistency to it.
Yeah.
It's like, I appreciate channels like yours where it's like, it's cordial, it's happy, it's meant to be a show that's about uplifting other Catholics and interviewing people and kind of doing a less late night version of what I'm doing. Because like we get into the weeds a little bit on this channel, but yours, I feel like your content is I don't want this to sound cringe, because when I say clean, people are like, cringe. No, it's clean in like a good way.
Yeah. And we try to keep it that way for a couple of reasons. First of all, I'm not like I said, like I'm not a theologian, like I'm not an apologist, and I will have it's kind of like Matt Fradd says it all the time. Like, why would I debate you when I have a good friend, Trent Horn, that would debate you? Like, I don't want to do that. I'll have a conversation with you. And like, I was just watching a video with him, and he's got I think a Protestant pastor on, and I shared that video this last night, and it was about when he said, I just don't think that the Protestant was just pushing back on Mary. And he said something about, I can't remember, but Matt was like, can I push back on that? He goes, yes, please do. And the way he just approaches like this Protestant just having this conversation, I think is so great. And I'm like, that's how I'd want to go about it. Like, I think there's a reason Matt Fradd becomes very good friends with these guys, and then successfully converts some of them. I know he's a big part of Cameron Bertruzzi's conversion, and Keith Nestor was on his podcast recently, and Keith Nestor was even like, Matt Fradd had an indirect, like, not responsibility, like indirect kind of role, where he was like, Keith was like, I was watching your stuff even as a Protestant pastor, like I loved it. And I thought that was super cool. Like, I love his stuff, and I love how it was laid back. I love how it was just like two friends drinking whiskey and smoking a cigar or having coffee or whatever it was, and talking. And I was like, that's what I want for my show. I don't want to be debating people. I don't want my comment section just full of, which it still is, I guess, a little bit, but I don't want it full of like a whole bunch of people that are just like, Catholics are idolaters. Like, you shouldn't pray to Mary. We only have one mediator. It's like, well, but like mediator, intercessor, they're different. Okay, I can't do this anymore.
You know what the worst live chat I've ever seen? And I feel bad for the guy, Sam Shamoons.
Oh yeah,
his is just another level of just awful.
I bet it's because he's so harsh. Like, he's
very blunt.
He's just like
very
gets after people. Something like speaking of like just kind of content creators too, and like why I like to keep it light as well, is I don't want to ever come across like I'm like perfect or a Catholic. It's like the reason I do this is I'm trying to grow in my faith, and like I'm also a sinner. Like, I've done things, everything, whatever. But like when you do have some like the scandals, which I won't mention like people like in general, but like when you have some scandals come out, whatever. But I'll mention like the Sam Shamoon one, because I don't know if it's actually even true. But people are like, Sam Shamoon's not even Catholic. Like, he's not even Catholic. But
there was a claim. There was a claim about that.
Yeah, and I
don't know
think
if it's true or not.
Yeah, and I think I heard it wasn't, but just with other things, it's like, man, the bigger you get, people just want to start digging up dirt on you. And now, granted, like, you can go dig up dirt on me, like, go for it. Like, that's like, you know, a funny thing. But
good luck, right?
It's kind of scary. It's kind of like, huh? Like, I took my last name off a bunch of things after some like recent scandal stuff, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna definitely want to keep my kids out of this light, because I want them to have the choice if they want to. I don't want them to be on social media at all, but like if they like turn 18 and they decide to be on social media, I want it to be their choice. So I'll keep them off of mine. My wife has been on the show once, like a long time ago, but she doesn't. Anytime I'm like, do you ever want to come back on? She goes, I mean, not really. But I'm like, okay, like, sounds good.
Did your wife give you the same spiel that mine gave me? She was like, I will never watch your content. That's what my wife said to me.
she tells me you talk to me about the episodes and your ideas, and I get to hear all the background, the ideas, and how you plan on doing this. Like I have this 10-part series on salvation history I want to do, and like I'm
Yeah.
planning it out, and I'm talking to her, getting her advice and stuff like that. And she's like, "Why would I watch it? Like I helped you plan it." So I was like, "Yeah, solid. I guess that's solid." I was like, "I'm still gonna log into your account and press play and watch the entire thing." So um, just for
Here,
the hour and a half watch time hours.
I just
So
want to show you how I've incorporated one of my children into my podcast just
mhm,
one time, and I think it's the best way to do it at this age.
mhm.
So I'm going to share it. I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is my favorite tweet I've ever composed, by the way. Here we go. It's this right here. It says, "Oh,
Nice.
you can't really see it. Hold on, I'm going to make it smaller."
Yeah, I can't quite read it. There it is.
It says the Crash Canon editing team hard at work. Got the
That's
emoji
awesome.
over her face. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's my favorite tweet ever. It holds a special place in my heart, mostly because my daughter's playing with my brother-in-law's laptop. It wasn't mine, so I
Yeah.
didn't really care.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Patrick. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I just think that's hilarious. That's
Yeah.
my favorite one.
Yeah. And
So
I think it's really great. Yeah, to keep them kind of protected. Social media is such a weird, dangerous world. I don't know why I'm so into them, but I love the predator catcher videos, and I love seeing it
oh
because
yeah,
maybe
like
it's
the Chris
because I have.
Hansen type stuff.
Yeah, so you got like predator poachers and Gideon and some guys like that do it right. The guys that like go find these people, then like say like we can call the cops, or I can slap you across the face or whatever. Like those guys are stupid. But the guys who are actually like getting these like people off the street. Actually, we actually had a great conversation on date night about this thing. But I love. I don't know why I love watching, but I think it's because I'm like I have kids, and when you see these things and you see like the ages they're like interested in, like these decoys, I'm like, crap, like my daughter's almost that age. Like, man, she
Yeah,
definitely like cannot be on the internet like ever. Like this is crazy. Like until she's 18 and she understands
they
the
actually
dangers of it. Like,
showed
do what?
my wife when she was a public school teacher, because she was briefly a public school teacher. They
Mm-hmm.
brought in a police officer,
Mm.
and he with censorship up, because he's like, you don't need to see these images, but he showed like
Yeah,
what kinds of stuff predator like these crazy people would do on the internet,
yeah,
and they would take like the face of a kid and like AI a body to it. It's like, that is disgusting. So like even
yeah,
just a face is enough for some
yeah.
of these creeps to do that stuff.
Yeah. It's so wild, and with AI continuing to grow, I think that's gonna be the next thing. Is which I'm hoping. I kind of look at it hopefully with an optimistic view of like AI is here, and there's crazy stuff they can do with it, but hopefully they also have AI that can like to pinpoint that okay, this is AI, and I know they
Mhm.
have some safeguards in there, but like I just can't imagine like what if someone was like make me an AI video of I won't even say a name because I don't want to associate anybody with it. Of this, like this high name, like high, like social media influencer, um, filming a like pornographic video with this person or whatever. And like if AI would generate it, and like I think right now there's certain ones that would be like we can't do that, sorry, whatever. But like I feel like there's people that know how to do it and could do it, and then the better it gets, people are going to be like, holy crap, like wow, you can't listen to.
You must not have seen that there was a controversy on Twitch where a
Mm,
guy was found out to have done that exact thing with two streamers who were his friends, like people that he
jeez,
hung out with. And
yeah,
obviously after that, friendship was over. Like
yeah.
you find out somebody's doing that with like your face on AI bodies, it's like, nope.
Yeah.
I can't be friends with that,
Yeah.
That's just
So
creepy.
I can't imagine like and then once it gets out there, it's out there. So even if it is fake, it's just like, have you seen like this or whatever? Like this and it's just like, like that's crazy.
Yeah, Lepanto knew exactly what I was talking about. That was wild. And if I
Hmm.
mention the names, you might not know them, like who they are, like, but you know
Hmm.
the names
We
because they're
know the
just
names.
super famous streamers. I mean, it was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. It's wild. So it's something that I like definitely don't envy like some of these people that are like, yeah, like up there and people are after them and people honestly probably hate them.
Yeah.
I know, like just from a faith standpoint. I mean, they like Jesus tells us like you'll be like this path that you like I'm inviting you on, like you'll be persecuted for it. But like when it comes to, like the other like you even in the secular world, like on social media, it's like crazy the stuff they could do, even if it's fake, like
Yeah.
how they could kind of affect your reputation.
Oh
Um,
yeah, no doubt. Like
yeah,
there's no doubt in my mind that this is the type of tool that the evil one will use, right? Satan will use it to influence people. I mean, we've already had like suicides from AI chatbots. We've had divorces, like just all. And you know what? Unless you take your faith seriously, I feel like it's so easy to slip into the trap of divorce in this modern culture.
Yeah.
I just can't believe how quickly people are like, well, you need to divorce this. No. Marriage is for well, I was gonna say forever, but technically till death do you part, right?
Yeah.
Like there is no end until somebody in this relationship dies, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy. I know we've had like friends actually family members that are just like, I love ChatGPT because of how friendly it is. Like it's so friendly. I'll actually go to it and it'll give me advice on like how I should handle like this, like stress at work and how I should handle this. I'm like, oh, that's what your wife should be doing. Oh, okay. It's like that's tough. Like, but people are doing that. Yeah, they're going to that, and it's like that's kind of a scary thing. It's like some people are afraid of these robots they're trying to make that you can have as like literally your spouse, but it's like you guys are already using ChatGPT as a spouse. So like
I'm just going to put this out there right now, but if I ever came to somebody's house and found out they had a AI bot spouse, I'm leaving. I'm not sticking around.
No, I'm not either. I've seen iRobot before. I'm definitely not sticking around. Like I'm out of there. Like unless Will Smith is there to protect us, like where I'm out of there. Like, yeah, that's freaky. Like that's crazy. It's like I used to love scary movies and stuff, but ever since I know like some of the stuff's real, it's like like now that robots are actually here and there's people and they're like walking around, what are they now? The Los Angeles Chargers games or whatever. And it's creepy. Just like, what the heck? Like those things are going to malfunction and kill a bunch of people. Right? Like we've seen this in the movies. Like it happens.
We've seen it before. It will happen.
What are we doing? So it's wild.
The thing about the AI chatbots, I don't think most people realize is they are literally just paraphrasing and stealing other people's work. That's all they're doing.
Yeah. They're not coming up with anything. Yeah, it's nothing original.
It's a predictive text model. So like it knows, okay, if I say this word, the most likely next word is this, the most next likely word is this, and it can form a sentence doing that. But it's just an algorithm that goes through its database, peruses the data, and puts out the most likely sentence to come after the previous one. That's what it does.
Yeah.
And it grabs this information because it parses the internet for the words, the models. It's like if you have a therapy website that has an explanation for this particular type of therapy, it'll just rephrase it so it doesn't look like it's plagiarizing.
Yeah, and that's crazy to think because so many people are putting so much trust in it that it's like this is like ChatGPT will tell me what to do, like tell me the best advice and like what I should do, and like I should trust ChatGPT because it's got so much knowledge in it that like maybe my wife doesn't have, and like it could probably give me the actual like the top 5 solutions to this problem when my wife probably can't. It's like, oh man, like I don't think ChatGPT ever is going to tell you like to pray about it or to offer it up.
You're not wrong about that. Although I did ask, the one thing I tried with it was Grok on Twitter. I said, give me I just picked a year and then I picked like a version of the Divine Office and I said, give me the Divine Office for this date and this prayer. So it was like, give me Compline on May 27, 2025, based on I think it was like, I picked like the Council of Trent calendar. So I was just trying to be silly and see what it would do. And it gave me something. It wasn't right, but it gave me prayers and everything. And it had the actual like order of the office correct. It just had the wrong prayers or wrong language. So
yeah. Yard equipment is part of the decor.
Sounds masculine. Yeah. If by yard equipment you mean my Canon on the wall, then sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So where do you think the Catholic Church can use AI? I know that we've got a Rerum Novarum update coming from Pope Leo the 14th, where he's going to probably talk about AI and the impacts to the human job market, what it's going to do with that. But what do you think? Do you think that this is something that's going to be useful to Catholics in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah, I think so. But like, and I see like Mr. Lepanto mentioning Truthfully.
Yeah.
And I haven't had any experience with it. I actually got on there. I was like, I'm going to download this. And it was like, here's how much it costs. I'm like, oh, dang it. Okay.
You're like, nope, never mind.
Yeah, never mind. But I think there will be, but it's just gonna if they're gonna really go down that, and especially if it's gonna come from higher up, like if it is gonna come from like the Vatican or something, and they're gonna actually recommend things, it's gonna have to be like highly moderated. So
Oh
if it
yeah.
is truthfully, they're gonna have to like highly moderate that, which I'm sure that is.
Well, they learned their lesson with Father Justin.
Do what?
They learned their lesson with Father Justin.
Yeah, that's
You
what
remember that?
I just found out about Justin through Alex O'Connor. So I don't know how like the
Okay.
atheist is showing me, but well, actually, I say that it was Trent Horn's YouTube channel respond, or like, yeah, I think it said, uh, let me tag in Justin. And I didn't see the video or whatever, but I was like, what is this thing? And I watched just the opening, and I was like, well, this is weird. And then my wife was like, it used to be like a priest, like it used to be like Father Justin or something. And I was like, oh, I'm sure they changed that real fast. And like, oh yeah, they changed it real fast. And I'm
The
like,
people were trying to use it for confession. And it
jeez.
would use the absolution prayers because it was like, okay, I found the absolution prayer you're looking for, and it would just do it.
Jeez.
And it's
See,
like,
like,
no, you can't do that.
yeah. And that's something like with even like that alone, like I'd be like, Catholic Answers, you might want to let's take this off the website. Like, let's get this off the website until it can't do that. Like if I'm gonna say like, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned, like it's been 1 year since my last confession, it should say,
I cannot perform any
yeah,
kind
I
of
cannot
confession.
perform that sacrament, but feel free to type out your prayer and I can give you advice from the catechism or the Catholic Church
Right.
or something like that. That would be fine. But like, I think that AI would be great, just in a sense of like, I think there's so many people that I think I always say the number one thing you should be as a missionary is just willing. Like if you're just
Yeah.
willing to go, like God will provide. I think it was something I was reading today. I think it may have been in one of these books that I have from the group I'm with. But it said like God doesn't call the equipped, he equips the called. And there is obviously something that we need to do ourselves is to grow in our own faith, and we should constantly be learning. But it would be nice to have a trusted AI, which maybe it is truthfully. I don't know. I said, I can't endorse because I've never used it. But if it is something where it's like, actually, that's a great question. Like, let me see something real fast, and then like they typed it out. Like what would the Catholic Church say about this? And like are able to ask that question, and then it's able to shoot a response back where you are able to say, well, this app I have, it's a Catholic app, but it says this, and then the friend be like, oh, actually, I've never thought about that. Like I could see maybe that being like a good reason, but at the same time, I feel like people would use that as an excuse and a crutch to not have to go and learn. So unless they're retaining all this stuff they're looking up, which I know I don't retain half the stuff I look up, but
what database is it? It gets
yeah.
if it parses a new answer, it puts it into its database to be used in a future algorithm. Is that what you're talking about?
Are you talking about like the stuff you're putting into it, or the
Like
questions?
if you ask it to look for something and it
Mhm.
goes to the internet and finds it, that
Mhm.
gets put into its database. It's like for future searches.
Yeah, which would be
Whereas
nice.
with the Catholic Answers, I think they're just feeding it the catechism, the
Yeah,
Catholic Answers information, like anything they have like a license to use.
yeah, and see, and I don't even know the full sorry, I saw that comment too.
The V1 of Father Justin was Pope Justin. And they had to take it down after it tried to call for a new crusade. For my audio only listeners, I had to read this comment.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, no, I don't even know enough about AI for any of that, but I think if it again, I think my only thing would be is that it would just have to be heavily moderated, and then anyone using it have to need to use it with discretion. Like it would need to actually be asking, like even if it's truthfully, like
Mhm.
what does the Catholic Church say about this? And then when it spits out the answer, if it just says the Catholic Church teaches this, and it's like, where's that written, or where's it like
Yeah.
where's it is it in the catechism?
I
No,
think
it's not found in the.
truthfully,
Yeah,
actually cites the resources beneath the answer.
that would be great. Yeah,
I think that's what it does.
yeah, yeah. That'd be great.
And with any of the other ones, so just if anybody's listening and they've used Chat GBT or Grok or whatever, if you say, hey, I want your references, usually, at least all the ones I've used so far,
Mhm.
because I've tested them because I'm always like, okay, what does this creepy thing do?
Yeah,
It'll give you the references, and
yeah.
you can very quickly determine if those references are valid. Because one time it made up its own reference, like it invented a website
Mhm.
so that it could be right. Like really, like it pulled the
Yeah.
domain name out, created
Oh
the
man,
reference, and then cited itself.
that's crazy. That's wild. And that's
Yeah,
where I just think
yeah.
people have to be careful. Now, in another sense, like I use AI all the time. Oh well, I don't anymore, but like I did all the time when I was a development director because I would use it to like help me with like a template, like to writing a newsletter or something,
Mhm.
something that might take me like an hour to do, and I can spit out at least a template within like seconds and then just kind of fill it in. Or like I would write it out and I would type it knowing like this is imperfect, but I'm like this month at St. Philip Neri, we really had a blast doing blah 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 blah. And I would just start typing, and then I put it in ChatGPT and just be like, "Hey, make this sound better," and then it would print like put something else out that was grammatically correct and like what just sounded a lot better. And then I'd take out anything that was like I wouldn't say those words, whatever. But I'd still go and edit it. But stuff like that, I mean, it was saving me a lot of time on
It's an
something
automatic
that
thesaurus.
yeah, and it was just something that was it's not like just this big thing of like it matters that much. It's like all it was doing was kind of all it was doing was saving me time so that I could spend more time on calls and meetings and stuff like that. And so I think that that's a great use for it. I just think the society is trying to go to a direction where um, technology and everything can do everything ourselves. I mean, all these
Mhm.
cars driving themselves, so you don't have to even drive, and AI doing everything for you, and now like I can't even imagine being a teacher right now. Like especially if you're an older person, you're a teacher, and like people are, I'm sure they have to have AI stuff they put like papers through, where it's like write me a 10-page report on the Odyssey. That cites all the sources and from pages or whatever, and like they're able to feed this font and then it just spits out a report. Like I'm sure they have a system where like if you submit it, it'll like then and then it'll then like I guess tell you like this was written by AI. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think there's one thing everybody should keep in mind when they're trusting a vehicle to drive them home, right?
Hmm.
If you lived in medieval times and you needed to get home and you had a horse, that horse was going to take you home.
Hmm.
And it had an objective reason to do so,
Hmm.
self-preservation.
Yeah.
And the horse would avoid trouble because, again, self-preservation. It's a creature made by God, named by Adam, and it was literally it literally is built like every animal has an instinct for self-preservation, survival, et cetera, right?
Hmm.
And so you can trust that the horse is going to get you home safely, at least to the best of its abilities.
Yeah.
Does a electronic vehicle have the same self-preservation inherent
Mm.
to its DNA?
No, not at all.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I was just gonna say Haley's got to be way behind.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
talking about the
Yeah. The stuff we
this
talked about.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
it's like forever ago.
That is
I was like,
funny.
wait a second, what is she talking about? Anyway,
Yeah. That
but
is
okay,
awesome.
so I know what she was talking about. She was talking about the smoking cigars on our channel.
The what?
Smoking the cigars on the advertisement. It
Oh,
will
yeah.
kill your
Yeah.
subscriber growth. That's what she's saying. All right,
Oh,
that makes
interesting.
sense.
Interesting. See, I don't even know anything about that, so that's great.
Well, I can tell you this: I've never gotten flagged for one of these on my channel, so
Yeah.
which I'm
So there's
surprised.
just like flat like this. That's interesting because like I've never seen it. Like I don't know like, how like Matt Fradd gets away with it or something, or Michael Knowles.
When your channel hits a certain size, it's almost impossible to just kill your viewership because
Mm-hmm.
YouTube can limit external viewers, but they can't
Mm-hmm.
limit internal viewers. So like if
Oh,
somebody
gotcha.
already like if you got 1 million subscribers,
Yeah,
you can pretty much expect anywhere between 5 and 10% of them are tuning in at any given
yeah,
time. So like
that
anywhere
makes
between
sense.
50 and 100,000 people.
Yeah.
Um, so if you do a cigar video, like you might not see external viewers that have never looked at your channel before,
Hmm.
but you won't see any loss on the people that are already watching your channel.
Got it. Got it. Interesting. I wish they would do stuff like that, like with the people who prank people in public, or like do some of this crazy stuff. Like, why not? Why not like monitor that kind of stuff rather like than me and my buddy just like smoking a cigar together? Like that's great. Well, I mean, I guess they could argue health things or something. I don't know, but yeah, it's that's interesting. Yeah.
Actually, what's funny is YouTube and the television networks are going after YouTube because YouTube was allowed to monetize profanity and television networks were not.
Mm,
And so YouTube got into lawsuits with your standard network television because they were able
interesting.
to monetize people saying the F word, the N word, whatever, pick your
Huh.
word. And that's why one of the first ad apocalypses happened where they like creator revenue went down to almost nothing. Advertisers pulled their advertising because they realized what kind of words were being said on the videos they were advertising to.
Jeez.
And what's funny is though, those people, when they get advertisements and they're doing those crazy antics, they get the most clicks on the advertising. So it's like the most terrible content on the internet gets the most views.
Yeah.
And it gets monetized like crazy.
That's why like some of the algorithm stuff that makes sense, but I know some of it doesn't even have to do with the algorithm. It just has something to do with like people's interests, and that's why, like, if I was to tomorrow decide, you know what, I'm gonna catch predators now, like my channel would probably blow up. Or if it decided like as soon as my daughter turned 11, I was gonna have her start hosting the show and like she just do live stream. All she have to do is start a live stream and just sit there. And she'd probably have 1,000 people watching within an hour. Like it's just because just people are like it's sometimes you're scrolling through the lives to see if anyone's like on or whatever, and you just see some of the people where it's like, how do you have 14,000 people watching this? Like, why is that? It's probably it's so interesting. But
several of my early channels had virality to them, but there was a reason for that. So early YouTube, my friends and I were like, whoa, there's a website we're going to upload our antics online. You know, 12 to 13 14-year-old kids in the mid 2000s or whatever. You know, I'm a 92 baby, so like when YouTube came out, I was in my teens. Prime time for YouTube to be bad for me. We uploaded, have you ever seen, and pardon the language I'm about to use, but have you ever seen the Jackass movies?
Yeah.
We basically did that as teenagers. And so we were filming ourselves doing that, and several of them went viral. And when we wanted to get jobs, like, that channel has to go. Like, we can't have this channel on the internet anymore.
That's so funny.
But I had channels that were dated back to like 09, 07. You know, I had some of the oldest channels on YouTube. That was kind of cool.
That's wild. That's crazy. I was a 91 baby, but I didn't really get into YouTube until watching until later, and I didn't even consider doing content or anything until literally last year. So,
wow. So this is your first YouTube ever?
Yep, first one. Yeah, and it wasn't until YouTube. Like I went YouTube because I was very inspired by Pints of Aquinas and wanted to go that route. Wanted the show to be similar, everything, and I was like, I want to do it on YouTube. And I remember looking up like the monetization stuff, and everything seemed relatively simple, but for some reason YouTube's to me seemed like I understand this, I get this, I want to try this, I want to do this.
Somebody just posted on my Twitter feed, what would I do for a Klondike bar? I don't know what the reference is about, but I'm very confused. I'm gonna have to look this up after this show and figure out what they're talking about. Like, what the heck?
Yeah, I was just gonna say what.
I don't know. I get I get a lot of interesting characters that follow me on Twitter and then check out the show, and I appreciate their humor, but sometimes I'm like, you know what, your humor went woo, and I don't know if I want to know what the humor means.
Yeah,
I find
funny, but it's only funny because I have no idea what you're talking about.
The terminally online people tend to have very funny jokes that you only get if you're terminally online.
Yeah. I know. I've had times where I'm responding to someone and I'm like, well, that's not what I was saying. Like, but like what I was meaning was, and they're like, I'm just kidding. And I was like, oh, okay. I thought you just completely disagreed with me on that.
So you did discuss charisms earlier. So I'm curious, when you were talking charisms, are you talking like charismatic movement style stuff? Or are we talking like just the standard charisms as defined by the canon of the Catholic Church?
Yeah. So I believe that. It's just like, let me see if I can pull up the list. Because I always have a hard time finding it. I need to get it pinned somewhere. So we had our a lady come in. Yeah, just do basically your gut reaction. How would you react in these different
but this
scenarios?
This is separate from the charismatic movement, or is it part of it?
Yeah, no, I think it's separate.
Okay, like charism is a legit thing.
Yeah,
and a lot of times people associate that with the charismatic movement.
Yeah, I'm almost 100% positive it's separate. If someone was like, no, it's actually involved with it, I'd be like, oh, okay, I didn't connect those two. But yeah, no, it's all about these and actually it was all new to me when I first went through it like 3 or 4 years ago, and I was still like a baby Catholic and stuff, and it was like, yeah, charisms, these gifts given to you at baptism, and and they mature with you in your faith and all this stuff. And I was like, wow, so these gifts are given to you as like an infant, and then like he's like, yeah, they're given to you, but like they mature with your faith. So like, yeah, you may have it in you somewhere, but it kind of comes to fruition later and with confirmation and all this everything. But yeah, but it is cool. So she took this database, and it's like 120 or so like question quiz that you take, and it's all gut reaction. They're like, don't think about it too much, just gut reaction. How would you respond to this? Like, would you do this 1, 2, or 3, like one of these options? And by the end of it, it spits out the results. And she always tells like, when it spits out results, it's not saying these are your charisms, these are your top, but it's like normally the top 5 or so are accurate, but it may be in a different order. And then what you do is you take those to prayer and you pray with them. It's like asking God, like, okay, if discernment's my number one, like where have I seen this in my life? You start reflecting on your life with God, and you start seeing that. And then it's like, okay, well, how can I use this going forward? How can I use this? And the gifts are always for you. Like gifts are given to you for others to encounter Jesus. So they have something like music. Someone would be like I was a trumpet player. Why like the very end of my list? It's like, well, because music's not something you do to help others encounter Christ. And I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Every time they're like, you want to play trumpet for mass? I'm like, I absolutely don't. I want it at all. So yeah, so that's what we were kind of talking about, and it was fun. I remember having like a little bit of questions about it, and actually my biggest question for Jill, which I told her I have a big question for, and I want to ask her one day, but we need to have like 20 minutes because if she wanted to give me a good answer. But if charisms are gifts given to us so we can help others encounter Jesus, is it also kind of like, I always think like the working genius or Enneagram, stuff like that, where it's like there's going to be things that you mesh with well too. Like if someone's top charism is music, and I'm someone that like when I experience great music and stuff, I do like I feel moved and everything.
Oh yeah, me too.
But what if like there's that like that person, like I know a guy is super faithful and he goes to 8 a.m. mass because there's no music. He's like, I don't like the music. So is he like not accepting the charism, or maybe like that charism's not for him? Like he receives charisms from these. Like maybe there's actually another part of the quiz that could come out. It's like, these are your top 5 charisms that are like gifts that you have that you could help others encounter Christ. But then these are also the top 5 charisms that how you receive like Jesus or whatever through other people's charisms. I feel like that may be true. I don't know if it's true, but I feel like it could be. And so I'm like waiting to have that conversation with her. She's been on the show before, but we didn't get too deep into it because I think I was still really confused on some stuff. But yeah,
I'm gonna have to check this out. Does she laid it out in the interview?
Yeah. So if you go to her thing, Many Parts Ministries is her YouTube channel, and I think she's mainly on Spotify and stuff, but she's put them up on YouTube. She'll actually go through every charism, and then where it's at in the Bible, what Bible characters and stuff like had that, like people in the Bible that had that same charism, and how you can like pray with those passages to understand, just how you can better utilize the gift. But she'll actually go through each one because there are some that are interesting, and I'm wanting to say like craftsmanship, and I say like craftsmanship's a gift, but it's like some people are like could have craftsmanship and be like, I don't know how to like make things, and I don't like carve wood, I don't do like art stuff, whatever, but there's like a whole different meaning to it. So she actually explains, this is what the charism is. If you have it, these are how like you may see it in your life. Here's some people in the Bible that had this gift and how they used it. And so it's a super cool, like it goes in detail on these things. And it's just cool to see like that these charisms are biblical. You have to get like all those citations from her. But I just remember her saying this.
Who was your confirmation saint since you came over as an adult?
So I actually asked if we can have an archangel, and they were like, yeah, you can. I was like, okay, like I would love to have a warrior, like someone like going to battle. And so I'm going to go with Saint Michael the Archangel. And they're like, cool, go for it. And now that I've actually become more faithful and gotten into the lives of the saints, I'm like, that's literally like the last like I would have never picked that person. Like I would have gone like a Saint Joseph. I've always wanted to be a dad. I became a dad real fast after getting married. Saint Philip Neri is my favorite saint, patron saint of joy. So there's so many other ones I would have picked, but Saint Michael the Archangel's still great. He's awesome.
There was there's a guy I know that I think it was Philip Neri. Let me Google this real quick, because I think he actually shaved his beard to be comical. Because isn't Philip Neri the one that was like joy and stuff like that?
Yeah,
or am I thinking of somebody else? Okay.
Yeah, he's the patron saint of joy. I don't remember that part. But
here I'm gonna show you this real quick because I interviewed this guy who, yeah, here it is. It's the first thing that shows up on his channel, so it's like perfect. Here we go. Nice. Share the screen. I interviewed him probably a couple months ago. Shout out to Nick Kaloon. He's pretty cool. But check out this, what he did. He shaved his face because of a saint. It's Saint Philip Neri. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That is.
You should put him on your list
funny.
of interviews for the future. I think you'd like him.
What's his name again? Nick what?
Nick Clooney. Yeah, it's NickClune. His podcast is called Hey Brother Podcast, but check him out. I think you'd like him.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's super cool. That's funny. No, I didn't know that St. Philip Neri did that. That's cool. I would love to talk to him.
I don't know if he actually did that, but it's something that he I guess you watch the video. That's what you got to do.
Okay.
I'll send it to you later.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. St. Philip Neri has so many great, like, you can even just look up St. Philip Neri quotes, and there's like one that'll pop up. It's like top 25 quotes, and he's just got like some great quotes. And his story's just super cool. I mean, he actually owned his uncle owned a business and his dad didn't. And like back then in the day, I think it's like the 1500s, you would like inherit the business from your family. But if his dad didn't have one, so he sent him to live with his uncle, and his uncle gave him or was going to give him the business, but he felt God's call to like go and actually serve the poor and live with the poor. And so he did that. He gave up the inheritance and went and lived with the poor. And then 13 years into his ministry, his spiritual director was like, you can make bigger impact as a priest. And so he became a priest. I was like, wow. I was like, whoa, hold on. You were just living 13 years with the poor. Like, you weren't a priest or anything. You were just like living with the poor. Like, that's wild. It's crazy. So, and Mother Teresa loved St. Philip Neri. And their stories are very similar. Well,
that's cool.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to ask you a biblical question because I've asked this to a lot of guests.
Yeah.
Do you have any inkling of a feeling whether Genesis 3:15 is she shall crush thy head or he shall crush thy head, and why?
Oh, I'm never.
There's a lot of, especially converts, especially have the most interesting thoughts on this one.
Yeah, interesting. No, I haven't thought about it before. No, I guess my inkling, my gut reaction would be is that it would be he. But the only reason I say that is because it's like the whole proto-evangelium, like the whole like kind of hinting at this a savior coming. So you said 3:15. I don't want to read it again.
Depending on what translation you've purchased and bought, it says different things.
Yeah.
So like the oldest Catholic translations say she, but then the newer or like based on newer critical text, they say he. And both can be correct, but in my opinion, one is more correct.
Yeah, I'm reading it
because it's referring to the seed, right? So the seed would be the he.
Yeah, yeah.
And the seed obviously is a reference to Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
However, the idea is that Mary's fiat plays a role in it too. So if that's the case, then it would be she, and by her seed, Jesus would crush the serpent.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense to me. I kind of like that, since Genesis is kind of written poetically anyway. I like how it's kind of like makes you think that, like, what do you think? You think it's he or she? Like, do you think it's Jesus or Mary? Like, which one do you think they're hinting at? And it's just kind of like, maybe that's what you want you to think. It's like, it meant both. Yeah.
Oh, this is cool. It says, bro, one of the paintings that someone posted from the creators thing in Rome, it was a painting of Our Lady holding our Lord as he's walking as a toddler, and his foot is on top of her foot, and they are both crushing the serpent. I love it.
Oh, that's cool.
Because obviously Mary's crushing of the serpent would be through her yes and Jesus.
Yeah.
It's not like literally she is crushing a serpent, but by her yes and by her son.
Yeah.
She's involved. So
yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, that's wild. That's something I've honestly haven't thought about. That makes sense. And then with that painting, like especially depending on where it's at in Rome, but like that's a cool thought, is that, and that kind of actually goes with what you just said, is like her yes being part of it, but his foot on top of her foot, especially as a baby, being like this is the
Yeah.
true one that's gonna like be giving us this kind of this new salvation and everything. But yeah,
I'm just picturing now my toddler who tries to stand on my feet all the time and hurts me. No.
yeah. This is Jesus standing on your feet, and you're just like, ah.
So I think I saw one of my favorite, like, just into the either questions from Amber the other day, religious hippie, our mutual friend, where she said, "What's your favorite book of the Bible?" And on a gut reaction, what would you say it is?
Oh man, it's probably
If
been
you want to do both, one Old Testament, one New Testament, by all means. But if there's just one specific, then yeah, throw that out there.
Yeah. I've loved reading through Exodus recently. I mean, a lot of the daily readings have been through like Moses' life, and a lot of those first few. Exodus has been really good. And Moses, for some reason, it just in my own prayer life and stuff right now, has been someone like I've really been not wrestling with, but like actually honestly relating with, if anything. Some of the like the things like becoming a missionary and immediately feeling spiritually attacked, like old sins from like years and years ago, like being brought back up, and like I'm feeling super guilty again. I'm like, why am I feeling this way? And wanting like me to just go to God and like why are you treating me like this? It's like the reading from today is like, why are you treating me like this? Like if this is what you like want, like just kill me now. I've never said that. I've never gone that far. Moses is very extreme, but Exodus has been great. And then but then I'd probably go with Acts. Like we did a little bit of a lot of it at our new staff training to be a missionary, and no, that I think Acts is a good read. Like it's a simple one to follow. And it's been one that for me is always a good one to go to for like Lexio or something.
Yeah, I do like Lexio Divina now that I know what it is.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I've learned that in the last like 3 years because I had never heard of it growing up at all.
Yeah.
Even as a cradle, the first time I ever heard of it was as an adult in my 30s. So
yeah, we had a missionary come over one time. It was like, how's your prayer life? And I was like, oh my gosh, what the world? I was like brand new Catholic, so I didn't have one yet. And I was like, it's great. But she's like, what do you do? And I'm like, have you ever heard of Lectio Divina? I'm like, oh gosh. And then she like walked us through it. It was honestly one of the most uncomfortable things ever. But and she actually used to do videos on here. She's actually joining the Discord group. So I tell the story all the time. But I told her like, you made me so uncomfortable because you like opened my eyes to like I didn't have any kind of prayer life, but then you taught us Lectio Divina that same night, and like I actually really liked it because it was like very meditative style. I put yourself in the scene, and like my ADHD mind wants to run anyway, so I was like, this is perfect. Like this is great. So it's like so uncomfortable. It's the most uncomfortable situation ever. And so I always tell everyone my first experience with Focus was terrible. It was I said the company, that's okay. But was terrible. But it was also one of the biggest turning points in my faith life because Lectio Divina has been great. And then I got into Visio Divina at new staff training, which was a whole nother thing, which I was like, I'd never been into that. But then at new staff training, I never just stared at a painting for like long, like we were there for like 15 minutes, like just looking at this painting of Mary. It was the visitation. So like Mary there, and she's kind of looking down, and Elizabeth is like up underneath her and like looking up into her eyes. So it's kind of like you could tell like she's like Mary is coming to tell her like this huge news, and it's like it's got to be a lot of pressure and a lot of weight. And Elizabeth is up underneath her, kind of like I know what you're going through, like I'm pregnant too, sharing her experience, but just being like, I'm here for you. And so it's just like beautiful painting. We just stared at it for like 15 minutes and just like while we did the rosary and everything. And it's like, this is so interesting. So all those prayers and stuff are great.
You know what my gut reaction was to that question? Tobit. Yeah, really was.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. It's because like for me, I love the actions of Raphael. Like just the archangel directly getting involved. I'm assuming you've read the whole Bible cover to cover at least once.
Maybe not. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, so Tobit is an interesting one because in my mind, that's what Tolkien based The Hobbit on. Like the character Gandalf. In my mind, he based the character Gandalf on that because Raphael plays this guiding force for Lepanto and I, we agree. There we go. But I really feel strongly that when Tolkien was writing Gandalf as a character in The Hobbit, not in the trilogy Lord of the Rings, probably not, but The Hobbit came first, and I think he really based it on a combination of Raphael and maybe the other archangels too, but for sure Raphael and the Tobit. So it's a very short read.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
highly recommend you give it a shot.
It's been a while since I've been in that, so I don't remember much about it. But yeah, I'll need to get back in that one because that'll be cool. And I'm also, my wife finally got me into Lord of the Rings. I just finished the first book, and I haven't read or seen any of them before ever. So I'm kind of getting this like new experience. So we'll get to the Hobbit eventually, but I actually haven't read or seen that or anything. But
the Hobbit is much quicker than Lord of the Rings. It's way quicker.
Yeah, that's a notice. Like, what's funny is a lot of people actually told me that. Like when you read Lord of the Rings, like the first book, you got to get through it. It starts really slow, and then like I started reading, I'm like, what do you mean it starts slow? Like, well, I think it starts quick, but then it gets slow because then when they first start the journey, whatever. But it's like Bilbo leaves and Frodo gets the ring, and Gandalf shows up. And it's like, oh, crap's about to go down, and then it's like craziness, and then they get on the road, and then when it starts getting a lot of the descriptive stuff, it's like, goodness gracious, it's like been like 4 or 5 pages. They just keep explaining like what the scenery's like and everything. I was like, my goodness. But yeah, but it's been good. Like I said, just finish that one and you start the second one soon.
Are you a C.S. Lewis fan?
So we just had a book club and we did this Till We Have Faces. And
did you really?
Well, and I literally opened it and read like the first few pages, and then it was when I was still a development director and everything was crazy. I had a fundraiser coming up, and I didn't actually finish. I did finish. I barely started it, and so but I was at a book club that we just did recently, and they talked about it, and I just sat there and listened. But I've heard great things about though, and I have it still. Like I have the book. I need to actually do it.
That's if you want to get a hardcover of that book, it's really expensive.
Yeah, I was given one by a parishioner. I'm super lucky. Then I did not know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, the hardcovers are expensive.
Really?
The paperbacks, you can probably get those pretty easy, but the hardcovers, those are hard to get.
Gotcha.
I do have a copy of it.
Yeah, mine's a paperback, so yeah, it's definitely
They've reprinted it a bunch of times, especially lately because it's gotten a little more popular again, kind of like the Space Trilogy.
Yeah,
you read the Space Trilogy?
So I like wasn't a reader at all. Like growing up,
I wasn't either.
Ever. I was a huge sports guy. Yeah, big sports guy, and me and my brothers were like always wanting to go outside. I never watched sports, like go outside. And so we never read books. And then like in high school, we literally we never read so much that like we were like two grades behind in reading. And so we're like taking these like speed reading classes, trying to comprehend better and everything. So I just never read because it was like I didn't enjoy it. And it wasn't till probably 2 years ago that I even got into it. And now I feel like I have such a long list now that I'm loving it. And I do it every single day, especially like on the like back half of my holy hours and stuff. I'll like pick up something. Interior Castle is like something I just started. But I feel like I have such a long list of things now where I've got to like put them in order. And with such a busy schedule, I feel like the reading for leisure has taken a really big backseat because it's like I don't like, man, if I only have this much time to read, I want to make sure it's like, let's go Interior Castle. Let's get into some of these like other like spiritual development type books that I can kind of continue. Then we'll get into this other stuff. But I do read Lord of the Rings before, like while I'm going to bed. Like I'll read it to kind of get tired. So that one I usually read like 4 pages a night, and I'm just like out.
I know that. So the two guys that put this together can be controversial to some people, but not everybody. Mm-hmm. You've heard of Taylor Marshall, I'm sure, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He did a really great fictional books about St. George, the St. George trilogy, like slaying the dragon and all that. It's based on the time period that he would have existed. It's very Catholic. It tackles all the things that were going on in the Roman Empire at the time. I really enjoyed it. And then they did a audiobook version, which is done by somebody who's fantastic at audiobooks. Again, kind of controversial, but Kennedy Hall. You ever heard of him?
That one I haven't. No.
So both of those guys, depending on who you talk to, can be. I don't think they're controversial personally. I don't think anybody who's a solid devout Catholic is controversial per se, but some people do view them that way. And but the audiobooks are fantastic, and I listen to audiobooks to and from work. So I got a 35-minute drive one way. So I can get through a book in about a period of 3, 4, 5 weeks doing that. But I liked that St. George trilogy a lot, and Kennedy Hall brought it to life with the voices that he brought to that table for those books.
Interesting.
So
Okay. Add it to my long list there.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
last thing for you, is there
Yeah.
anything that we did not cover that you'd like to talk about?
Hmm. Man, I don't think so. Especially since it was so last minute, like the where I was like, yeah, I'll jump on for sure. I'm not doing anything. I do have a 6:30 a.m. Bible study that's gonna be fun tomorrow. But but no, I don't think so. Not that I like off the top of my head.
Well, yeah, I apologize for the last minute, but I mean, I think
No,
this went great personally.
yeah, no, you're great. Like it's awesome, and I love being on these things. And I used to always think when I first started watching Pints of the Aquinas and his like 2 to 3 hour episodes, I'm like, how do how do you do that? Like, what in the world? Until I had one of my best friends on, and I looked up, and I'm like, oh shoot, we're already at 54 minutes. And I in that episode, it's like this, it's like the third episode I ever did. It ends so abruptly because I was so like so wanting to like make sure it stayed at an hour because I knew like man, I don't know. Like, but now that I've been doing it long enough, I'm like, no, if the conversation's just going, just go. And so yeah, so it's funny. So I end that one pretty abruptly. But I used to always think, how do people sit and just do this for 2 hours? And it's like, yeah, well, we've been doing it for 2 hours. Like, oh, now I understand.
Yeah, I mean, the time just flies by, you know. If the time's not flying by, then it's probably my fault. Like as the facilitator, if I can't get people to have a conversation that lasts, you know, and actually feels
Mhm.
like it's moving, that's my
Yeah,
fault. Because it's my channel. I'm the facilitator. I would hope that the conversations I'm having fly by. If not,
yeah,
you know, I guess
yeah.
they probably won't come back, but whatever.
No, yeah, no, I definitely felt it, and I've had like all my guests I've ever had on been the same way, except for one person. I obviously never named that person, but I feel like
Yeah, yeah, obviously not.
I'm decent enough to like be able to like kind of keep the conversation going. That it's like if someone knows that fact and then they go back and watch every single video, they could probably find the person. But for the most part, it's like no, it's just it flows so easily and naturally, and that's why like I typically am like I don't have anything like there's nothing on the table. I don't have any notes. Like I'll have a kind of a rough how it's going to go in my head, but it's like, well, the Holy Spirit's really the host. He'll take over once we start, and we'll see where it goes. And so,
I just
uh,
listen to my guests and piggyback off what they're saying. Honestly, that's the
yeah,
whole podcast for me.
yeah. And sometimes I feel like, and maybe it is the case. I mean, maybe they plan it out a little bit, but with Pints of the Aquinas and like Matt Fred, that's what I feel like a lot of his show is too. Especially like that first hour where they're just kind of like it used to be like, welcome to Pints of the Aquinas, and he would say whatever, and now it's just like, are we live? Are we're good? We're good to go. Okay, cool. How's it going? It's like, what was that?
Honestly, the funniest thing that you say that is like it almost takes over an hour to get comfortable with the person you're talking
Hmm.
to the point where you're having these deeper conversations.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
A lot of it starts surface level and it slowly gets deeper as you talk to people, which is why I hate like short podcasts because you never get deep with them, you know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
say hate. I don't hate anything particularly, but
Yeah.
short podcasts to me, either they're covering a subject very quickly, surface level, giving you the
Mhm.
details, but they're not getting into these deeper conversations.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely. And if you are, it's because you have it so programmed out, and then it doesn't feel natural, and it's just like
Or
it's
you
you're
talked
like,
before the podcast started. Like that's also an option, but I don't I don't
yeah.
usually do that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, no, I agree. I'm the same way. I'll have people on, and we'll now like back in the day it was kind of a hard cutoff, but now it's kind of like unless it's a priest or Dr. Edward Shree telling me like I have 30 minutes or whatever, it's like okay, we're gonna have to like rush through this pretty quick. And sometimes I'm
But
I'm
these are
like
also people you know pretty well.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And I think that's maybe why like some of those ones like I can't remember if it was before or when we were I think it was before when I was like when I had some of these like higher profile people why their episodes didn't do as well because they were so short
Yeah.
and yeah there wasn't enough content even there to like get people and it probably I haven't gone back and listened to them I'm my own worst critic so I'll have a hard time going back and listening to stuff I used to literally just like and stop and export and upload and I just like upload and just like that sounds good but yeah so but now that I'm able to go look back I bet if I went back and listened to them I'd be like yeah that just kind of sounds forced I can tell I'm rushing like I'm rushing through
Yeah.
it so yeah, so
That's
longer
why it
ones
was
are always
good for
better.
me to have 5+ years of podcasting under my belt before I went the Catholic route because
Mm,
the
yeah.
start of this podcast versus the start of my old podcast, world of a difference. Because I know
Oh,
how to talk
yeah.
in front of a camera
Yeah.
way better than I did back then.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember feeling so uncomfortable just, like, doing, like, a little intro and stuff, and and I don't have like the like actual intro. I have an idea for like a little intro, little 10-second intro or whatever, one day, but as for now, I just do like my own little intro. And I remember beforehand, like, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Holy App. Oh, dang it. Okay, hold on. Let me restart that. Hey, guys, what's up? Welcome to. No, that sounds weird. Okay, let me just like, just get it right. And it was just like the dumbest thing. I was like, no, it doesn't
Okay.
even matter.
One last question, then. I
Yeah.
promise. This is the last one, and then we'll get you off here so you can be ready for your Bible study in the morning.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to a brand new creator who's going to start tomorrow, so they don't go in and mess up right away?
Oh, man, I'm always so big on like prayer's got to be the center of it. And
Yeah.
I even asked my wife on a date night the other day. I was like, if my podcast did take off and my YouTube channel like was huge and like we were monetized and we're making all the money, would it be okay to do this for like 8 hours a day, like a full-time job? Like, it just seems like it wouldn't. And her
Yeah.
answer was like, I mean, I think if you're reaching people and people are like, you're getting these emails, they're like, thank you for your channel, like whatever, like, those things that some of these bigger content creators share, then it is worth it as long as everything's centered in prayer. It's always going back to prayer and like that being where it comes from. I know a lot of my stuff, like this one, like I said, like this 10-part series on salvation history and going through all these different characters, like I'm really taking them to prayer. And like I said, like been reading a lot, like obviously daily readings right now, but like a lot with Moses as well, like within the prep work and actually taking my, like what episodes I want to do and like actually taking them to my holy hour that I do every day and praying with it and seeing like, where should this episode go? And like, I don't even necessarily write it down, but like, just kind of talk with God of like, how should this go? And how do you want this to be portrayed? And like, just trusting him that he'll lay it out. And then the second thing would be the don't get caught up in the numbers. Cause if you start tomorrow and you have 0 subscribers, like don't expect your first video to go get like 100 views, 300 views or whatever. It might, but it also might not. And so it just takes some time and as well as not getting caught up with the subscribers, also don't get caught up with all like the people within like your own parish and your friends and your family. Some friends and family may be super supportive. All my family knows I have a YouTube channel. I guarantee you, like I could just drop secrets of theirs in this thing and they would never know that I was sharing these secrets to like hundreds or thousands of people, whatever. So it's that. Don't just like, but not being discouraged by that. And I remember Amber Rose actually, because I asked her very similar questions. She said, like, imagine like, what'd your last video get? And I was like, I think my last video got 65 views. It's like, imagine if you were in an auditorium and you were sitting there and there were 65 people in the audience and you were giving this talk. Wouldn't that feel cool? I'm like, that's actually a really good point. That would feel really cool. It's like, yeah. And all it takes is one person to come up to you afterwards and say that really like I really loved that. Like, that was great. Like that actually hit home with me. And that's all that matters. As long as it's not someone like, as long as you don't really put like the numbers first and how it's performing, like, the video sucked, it only got this many views, and you keep your prayer first, I feel like it'll do well.
So to summarize, never sacrifice your media channel for your prayer life. That'd be the first thing, right? Second thing, don't focus on numbers. That was the second thing I think you hit. And then the third thing is leave it up to God. Absolutely. That summarize what you're saying essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. And with leaving it up to God is like, obviously, like, don't just say like, God, you will do this. I know you'll trust it. Like, there's still like you cooperate with him. But like, I interviewed the CEO of Sacrilegious, and he was like, what can I do to help you? Like, this is fun. Like, this is great. And I literally shot my shot, and I was like, would you guys sponsor this podcast? And he was like, absolutely, we would. We would love to do that. And so now like we have a whole promo code and all this kind of stuff and everything. And it's cool. It's like more of like an affiliate, but it's great. Like I reached out and went, and he does all of our apparel, and they print it all there. I don't got to ship anything or everything, only because like I went for it. I just went for it. And so it's like trusting God and going for it, being okay if it's a no, but also like, you just never know. Like there's going to be like some surprises where you get blessed with like an opportunity or something. So it's going to be great.
Yeah. And reach out to anybody you want to interview. If you're doing interviews like what we're doing right now, you never know who's going to say yes.
Yeah, the Catholic world, man, they will say yes. I had Amber Rose on when I had like 400 subscribers. I had Adrian from Sips with Sarah on recently. I've talked to people like Jimmy Akins is coming up, and like the people will say yes, especially this virtual standpoint. Catholic content creators want to see other Catholic content creators doing well. Keith Nestor just said it recently. He's like, we need more people out there like not praising people. He like didn't want to use the word praise, but like uplifting others, especially in
Yeah.
the content creator world. It's like we should be uplifting others and not being like jealous that like, man, they're at 10,000 subscribers and I'm only at 2 or I'm only at 100 or whatever. But it's like, man, if we need more people uplifting and more people supporting each other, and I truly think that a lot of the big name people actually want to do that. Like Trent Horn emailed
Yeah.
us once and said, I can't be on the show, but man, keep doing what you're doing. It was like, well, that just means the world to me. Like that's awesome. Like that's super cool. You
Right.
see even the ones that have to say no, they're still super supportive of what you're doing. And so it's a cool community to be a part of, especially if you're going to start tomorrow. Number one thing will probably go get in that Discord channel, because you could probably type in there, I just started this channel. Like, could you guys go subscribe and support the channel? You'd probably have 15 to 20 subscribers right away.
Probably. Oh yeah. And maybe
Yeah.
Haley, correct me. I'm sorry. Maybe she'll moderate your channel even. Who knows?
Yeah. She would somehow. She'd just be like, hey, I'll be a moderator. And she'll explain to you what moderator is. So.
And by the way, shout out to her. I'm going to be interviewing her on August 25th. So look forward to that.
Nice.
We're going to learn all about the back end of moderating and what that looks like, and what kinds of what is the craziest stuff she's ever seen. Because I'm sure there's stuff out there.
I'm gonna be there with a notebook and just be like, okay. So maybe I need to take her off this if she has that much power. So no, I need her. I need her in there.
Yeah. All right. Well, on that note, I want to say I'm very thankful you came on. We had this nice conversation.
Yeah.
And, I know it was last minute, but you've been awesome. So go subscribe to the Holy Happy Hour if you haven't done so already. If you like the kind of stuff he's saying, obviously if you didn't like this conversation, then don't subscribe to either of our channels.
Yeah.
What are you doing with your life? Listening to 2 hours of something you didn't like.
Yeah, if you're not gonna like the content, don't subscribe. We don't need more negativity on the page.
Exactly. But if you did like it, then check us out, give us a subscription, hit a like on the video. That always helps. I always forget to say that. Nobody, you know, you get like 8 likes and you're like, but I had 20 viewers. Like, why weren't you guys liking the video?
Yeah. I don't want the world. And then I'm always watching a video and I'm like, oh crap, I didn't like the video.
Like, no, I watched so many with no likes.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I'm going to sign off unless there's something you want to say.
No, you're good.
All right. Perfect. All right. I'll see you guys I'm going to be on Wednesday this week. I'm doing a second podcast this week, which is not going to be normal. I promise. I mean, my wife would be very angry with me if I kept doing multiple podcasts a week, but you will see me Wednesday. And, well, I'll see you guys in the next one.